You're watching TOON Army TV. This is the live post-match reaction. It finished at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 5, Newcastle United 0. A game to forget from the very start. If you're asking me, Man City were clear favourites to win the game. There's no question about it. When you're missing your key players like Almiron and St. Maximin, it's always going to be a long game. I gave the lads hope that we could potentially get a draw from this game, but the way City played, it was all too easy for them. We didn't really lay a glove on them. We pretty much gave the game away from the first 10 minutes. City with a possession, it was all too easy for them. We couldn't really get near them. The players just didn't try, in my opinion. And a lot of them have let us down in a sense. I wasn't expecting City not to beat us because it would have been a tough ask to even get a draw, never mind a win. But I'd rather lose 5-6-0 having a go. And I said in the preview, we should be playing the 4 at the back rather than the 5 at the back, because you're just giving City that opportunity to go on and just punish you, because you're not really going to try. You're not really going to, lay a glove on Edison, the keeper, and he had nothing to do, for the full 90 minutes. And it's just disappointing. Yes, it was always going to be a difficult game. And the goals were scored by, Jesus, Riyad Mahrez. Second half, went into the game 2-0 down. We scored an own goal through Fernandez and Richie. Bit of miscommunication there. Silva scored a really good free kick out of this world. And Raheem Sterling, he wrapped it up to make it 5-0. It could have been more. We could have lost that game double figures. And I'm just disappointed that we didn't really make an effort in the game. I know, fair enough, we're safe in the Premier League and we can plan for next season. But albeit there's no excuse that we didn't play ASM in Almiron, because at the end of the day, that's where the other lads need to step up. They're part of the 25-man squad for a reason. They're there to give Steve Bruce a headache, and they didn't. I can't name one player today that really stood out. That really, you could say, yeah, gave it their absolute all. You could say maybe Kraft was one of them, but the rest of them didn't see anything of. Joe Linton, didn't see him in the game at all. Didn't really burst a gut, in my opinion. Didn't see anything from Matt Ritchie, and the confusion for the own goal between himself and Fernandez pretty much summed it up. I didn't see anything from Shelby. He was very disappointing. Didn't see anything from Shaw. I didn't see anything from Bentaleb. I didn't see anything from Lazaro. And it was just all too easy for Manchester City. And when you sit back for the full 90 minutes and don't do anything, then you're going to give the opposition that chance to go on and win the game. And I'm quite grateful that we didn't actually lose the game by more. It was quite embarrassing, truth be told. And, the first goal that Jesus scored, who was marking him? He's got a free tap-in, pretty much. It's probably the easiest goal he's going to score in his career. You can't not mark players. You've got to mark them up. The same could be said about Riyad Mahrez's goal. For the second one, carbon copy. Who's picking him up? Nobody. Scores past Dubravka, and we've already got a mountain to climb 20 minutes in, and you're thinking it's going to be 3-4-0, even 5-0 just before half-time. Man City were completely playing off the park. Yes, I get it. They're a good side. They're very gifted at what they can do, and they fully deserve that win, but at least try and make an effort. And with the 5 at the back, we'll look beat before we even kicked a ball. I was hoping that Steve Bruce might have learned from the Man City game in the FA Cup, but clearly he didn't, and he's gone with the formation, which should be chucked out the window and never be used again. And half-time, obviously 2-0. I'm quite grateful that it's only 2-0 because it could have been more. Second half, same old, too slow, too lethargic. The players just couldn't be bothered. They're on the holidays now, we're safe. And that was the attitude right the way through. And the third goal, I don't know what Richie and Fernandez were doing. All you've got to do is just try and stick, with Jesus. Try and stick with him, try and pull a tackle in, but he didn't. And the ball goes past Dubravka. He's helpless at that point. 3-0 down. Absolute mountain to climb, and it's going to be a long old half an hour, 58 minutes when they'd scored. And then Silva, he got a fourth for Manchester City with a great free kick. In my opinion, I don't feel it was a free kick. I feel like Shaw got the ball, but at the end of the day, we're 3-0 down. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. And he put it into the top left-hand corner. Dubravka's got absolutely no chance. And 4-0, it's how many more goals Man City can get from there. And then they scored that 5th goal right at the very end with Sterling. Game was pretty much done anyway. Lads couldn't be bothered. Steve Bruce did make some changes, obviously, bringing on the likes of Dwight Gale and Matty Longstaff. But what was the point? The game was already done, man, before we even kicked a ball. And listen, it's Manchester City. They're a great side. I'll take nothing away from them. We were not favourites to win this game. Man City were strong favourites, of course, with their side. And it just goes to tell me that we need a lot more quality going into next season, because we can't just keep accepting good games against the likes of a Bournemouth or a Southampton away. We're a big enough club to try and compete with Manchester City. That's why a lot of fans are relying on the takeover. We need some sort of takeover for next season, because can we really go through another season with Mike Ashley? I would say no, because you look at their side and you look at our side, their owner cares. Man City's owners, they put a bit of investment in, and their fans have got something to watch. Whereas you look at our side, we lose a couple of key players and we don't give ourselves a chance. And I don't really want to say or make an excuse that we lost the game because we didn't have ASM or, Almiron, because at the end of the day, these lads have been given a chance and they haven't taken it, and they've just sat back. And obviously with a formation change to 5 at the back again, it's not give the lads a chance to really get forward. But Man City had it all too easy, in my opinion. That it all too easy. I couldn't watch the game at the best of times. It was a really difficult watch. And I gave the lads a chance of a draw, but that was like a slim chance just to try and get behind them. But, what can I say about that? We've been completely played off the park. And I'm just grateful now, sitting here at 5-0 defeat, because it could have been more. It could have been double figures. I think we've had something like 20 to 30% possession, which is normal. Against Manchester City, they normally have about 70, 80%. I think we've only had one, maybe 2 shots on target, if that. And that's pathetic. It really is pathetic. And I don't use the excuse it was Manchester City, because at the end of the day, if we actually had a goal, who knows where the game could have went. But their goals are just so easy. They're schoolboy defending, and you can't do that in the Premier League. Just as well, we have got the points. Just as well, we're safe. Because if we really needed the points, then that wouldn't have been good for any confidence if you're trying to stay in the league. But what does that say for the rest of the season? Well, Watford, they'll be rubbing their hands at that, thinking, do you know what? We got a good result the other day against Norwich. We can now fancy with chances against a struggling Newcastle side that have got injuries and just can't string 2 passes together, because that was the whole rhythm of the game today. We couldn't keep the ball for no longer than 5-6 seconds. And Man City, if you give the ball away too easily, they'll get the ball and they'll put it in the net on the other end. And listen, we know they've got quality, but there's no excuse for how we performed. And it's just, when we had the ball at times, we're just, as if it was a bomb, we just got rid of it like dead quickly. And you've got to try and do something with it. You've got to try and keep the hold of the ball as much as possible for at least 5, 10, 15 seconds. Try and get some passes going. Try and get a rhythm going. But listen, there was no rhythm in that performance today. And I was expecting a lot more from Shelby. I was expecting a bit more from Lazaro, Matt Ritchie, and I've seen absolutely nothing. And we spend too much time, looking backwards rather than forwards. And if you do that, then you cause yourself numerous problems. And Man City, again, they deserved the 5-0 win. I take nothing away from them, and we just did not look like scoring in that game tonight. So I'll read some comments out, and then I'll try and get you in the live stream. Chris NUFC says, what a bad game for us. Yeah, it was poor from the very start. Can't see any more than we didn't deserve anything from it, and it was kind of what we were expecting. White Trout Channel says, outstanding display again, very poor. Chris NUFC says, we now need this takeover to happen. Well, I hope it happens, because from what I've seen tonight, we lack so much in the attacking areas. We need to try and address our forward lineup, because, listen, we haven't got enough strikers that score double figures in a season, and that was proven today. We just don't have enough quality in the midfield either. The defence has been a bit shaky the last couple of games. I don't know what the problem is, but when you play 5 at the back, then that just goes to show we lack quality. Because if we had quality, like Man City, then I'm sure we'll be going toe-to-toe with them, maybe 4-3-3 like we did against Bournemouth, or we'll be going 4-2-3-1. I just don't understand why Bruce didn't go with a 4-2-3-1 this evening. Unfortunately, he should have just stuck with it. If we got beat 7, 8, 9-0 with that formation, fair enough, it's Man City. But 5-0 with 5 at the back's embarrassing. And it's not been the only result where we've been beaten with that formation. Leicester City away, We've been beaten off Norwich. Listen, I just don't know why he just doesn't ditch that formation. It doesn't work. It's boring. It's negative. David George says, lost and beaten before they even got on the pitch. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, mate. I think you're looking at the formation, seeing the likes of Shaw, Lazaro. It's just, I don't know. I look at that side and I'm thinking, where do we get goals? Where do we create our chances? And I see nothing in the game to suggest that we've done enough. Man, Dubravka was pretty much keeping winning the game. Daniel Graham says, simply put, TOON were pathetic tonight. Yeah, poor performance. I mean, yes, it's City, you can get beat, but get beat having a go. And we didn't do that, unfortunately. David Waller says, the Newcastle United takeover deal. Well, we'll wait and see where that goes. Retro NUFC says, not good enough tonight. Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. Not good enough, unfortunately, to get a result down at the Etihad. Karen Davison says, do they realise they are supposedly professional footballers? Yeah, exactly. Didn't see anything from them tonight. It was just not worth watching. I couldn't really watch the game at the best of times because City were totally outplaying. We didn't really have a plan A. We didn't have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G in that game. Honestly, it was a case of the players were using that as a bit of a write-off game. They were doubting their abilities before ball was even kicked, and that's disappointing. Right Trout Channel says 600 to 1 at half time to turn it around says it all. Yeah, exactly. They've got better quality than us. You can't take anything away from Man City and what they can offer. But listen, it was a poor one, and we'll have to move on from it. You know, we've got Watford coming up on the weekend. We can't dwell on this result. We'll have to try and get with better players back. If ASM and Almiron's playing, which you like thinks fingers crossed they are, then this is a game where we can actually compete in and try and stop Watford from potentially staying in the Premier League. You know, there's so much to play for. You know, West Ham, I think, lost to Burnley and Sheffield United beat Wolves. So I think Watford know that they've got a game on their hands. And I don't know. I think with today's performance, the players look as if the season's done. They're on the beach and we've got the points and the lads have played well. The only negative you could probably take from the result is that we've dropped down a place to 30 on goal difference because we're letting that many goals. And listen, I don't mind we're getting beat 5-6-0 off Man City, whatever it is, as long as we're trying. I didn't see anything from the game to suggest that we're really done enough in it. Honestly, it was a tough watch. I really couldn't watch it at the best of times. I was moving away from the telly at times because, listen, it was just so routine for Manchester City and take nothing away from them in that point. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream, please do. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to do so, and it really just helps the channel to go forward. And I've got the Watford preview out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And put your comments down below. Keep chatting in the live stream what you thought about the game. What did you make of the formation, the 5 at the back? Do you agree with it or disagree with it? Do you think we had it coming? I will say I didn't agree with the 5 at the back. We should have just went for it and try and go toe-to-toe Man City and see how many goals we concede with that formation. Maybe the 4-2-3-1. Just who was your man of the match for Newcastle? I mean, probably Kraft was the only one that stood out. You could say Danny Rose in a sense. Just, yeah, not a Newcastle United performance that I know. Karen Davison says, had to turn off in the second goal. It was just all round poor. Yeah, I have to agree with you. Guests, I will put some guests in if you want to come in the live stream. I'll leave a link for you right now. So just bear with me 1 second. Keep posting your comments into me after tonight's game against Manchester City. Bear with me. There you go, guys. There is a link in the comments. So if you would like to chat, feel free. The next comment is from Jody. You've said in the review that I could see City winning 5-0, but had to admit I thought we would have put up a better fight than we did today. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for the fight. I was looking for the passion. I was looking for the hard working lads that were seen against Bournemouth last week, and I didn't see it. We made it far too easy for Manchester City. We let them play around with, we let them toy with us, and that was the most disappointing thing. And when you play 5 at the back, you're giving yourselves problems from the start. And like I said before, I don't mind we're getting beat 5-0 if we go 4-2-3-1. The formation that gets the result. Because Man City, yes, they're a class above. They're a world-class side. They're the Barcelona of this league. But we made it far, far too easy for them. And you can't afford to defend the way we did, unfortunately. I'm just going to add Jay into the live stream. Just before I talk to Jay, I am going to continue reading your comments. So do bear with me, Jay.
Take my word. Take your time, man.
No problem. I'm just going to read some comments out. Robbie Stevenson has says, hello, I don't get why Brucey played 5 at the back. We've been picking results up with 4 and we're safe. Just go for it. you might as well try and get what we can. Get Europa League. Honestly, I struggled. Yeah, exactly. I think, you're safe in the Premier League. Have a go. If we get beat 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-0 playing the 4-2-3-1 formation, listen, so be it. It's Man City. They're a great side. But don't just sit back and accept, that you're being beat, because that's not exactly what we're about as a football club. And I'm disappointed in Bruce for that. Yes, okay, you could say we missed some of our quality players, but that's no excuse to say, oh, we deserved to get anything, because we didn't, unfortunately. Karen Davison says, lol, can only sign up to play. I can't guarantee I'll score, but I give a good shot. Yeah, I think you do better than anybody else that I've seen. We've got a new streamer. Hello, Joseph. How's it going?
Hello. All right.
Hello. You all right? You good?
Hello.
Hello. Are you a Newcastle or a Manchester City fan?
I'm a Newcastle fan.
Oh, what did you make of the game this
I'm a
evening?
Newcastle fan.
What did you make of the game?
I'm so pained right now. I'm very pained.
It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Right now.
Very bad.
Yeah, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yes.
What did you make?
Go put me off.
Yeah.
We should be looking at our next game against Watford.
We'll have to be better. I mean, what did you make of the 5 at the back? Do you think we were beat with a 5 at the back formation? I believe we were beat. I mean, I was trying to be positive and say try and go 4-2-3-1, maybe go toe-to-toe with Manchester City. But unfortunately, when you play 5 at the back and you're just defending, you're giving Man City the freedom just to say, right, you do what you want to do. It just, yeah, I thought it was a disappointing game all round.
Just crap, man. But we're terrible.
I don't know. The formation wasn't good.
We're just annoying. I think we need to get this formation sorted out again. But we'll always play. We didn't play the fact back yet again.
You see, I don't use the excuse that we didn't play ASM or Almiron. These lads have been given a chance to maybe try and play the rest of the season out and maybe stake a claim in the starting 11. But I can't say one of those players tonight really gave 100%. Not one of them. I mean, if there's one person I pick out, I could say Kraft. I think he's been good in the last 3 games. But the rest of them today, I just think they were on the holidays. They were ready for maybe next season. I think they've let the fans down. I think they've let the club down. What do you agree, Jay? Do you think it's a case of, it's Manchester City, but you've got to at least put in a good display. Try your best. With what's available.
You have to. Like, you look at City, right? They're the better side. They've got the Brian now. They've got the players. We haven't. They're
totally outplayed. Well, that's a thing. Like, we didn't lay a glove on them. We had 1 shot on target the whole game, or 2. We might even have had 2. I can't remember. I haven't looked back at the stats.
I watched the game, but when I was having me dinner, I was sitting for 2-0. Thinking, oh my god! I couldn't watch it. I was like watching toilet. I was just watching crap. Like watching a team who was embarrassed. We should be embarrassed tonight.
Yeah, that's what Capo said. One word: embarrassing. I mean, it was, to be honest. I mean, like I say, I don't mind getting beat by a heavy scoreline, but going down like that without trying and without actually giving City problems, that's concerns for next season. Because just when you think Steve Bruce is getting it right, he goes back to the 5 at the back, which he used against Man City at home. Albeit, I don't know how we drew 2-2 because we played well that afternoon. We caught City on a really bad day. But then we got loads of good results, at the start of the second half of the season with a 4-2-3-1. Against Man City in the FA Cup, he went 5 at the back, which I thought was baffling anyway. And then you're thinking, right, okay, we're out the FA Cup, City were favourites. Hopefully, he should have learned that 5 at the back doesn't work. 5 at the back doesn't work against Man City in the Cup. We've got them again at the Etihad. Yes, we're missing some of our key players. Why didn't we just go the 4-2-3-1 against City and just play how we normally play with that formation, which gives us a bit more time on the ball. We're more expressive. We'll cause more problems. But today we didn't cause them any problems. And I think the minute they got that goal through Jesus in the 10th minute, the game was done. Sorry to be negative, but the game was done.
Embarrassed.
I mean, we know City are a good side at the best of times, but you can't play like that and allow City to. Hello, Shane.
Go on.
We've got a Matthew. We've got a Matthew coming in, I believe. Hello, Matthew.
No, right.
Right, mate.
Are you a Newcastle or Man City fan?
Newcastle fan, mate. The TOON army.
What do you make of the game? I thought it was pretty shit, if you ask me. There's no words I can describe it.
I watched a little bit and it went off because my Wi-Fi's like penny crap.
Yeah.
We are. Oh. Sorry.
I think you are cutting out a bit, mate. I don't know if your connection's going a bit. You are cutting out.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, we never had much chances, like.
It's some right.
Sorry about that, guys. That I left. So sorry, I didn't catch what you said there, Matthew. Say it again.
Yeah, we didn't have much chances, like. No, we haven't.
We didn't give ourselves a chance, so that's the thing. We didn't give ourselves a chance with the formation, the 5 at the back. You're asking for trouble from minute one.
You absolutely get bloody tired, just had to get bloody defeated.
Jay, are you okay if you drop out? Because I've got a few people there want to come in tonight on the game. Is that okay? No problem. No problem, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mike on field.
Yeah, Matthew, is it okay if you drop out? I've got a couple of guests coming. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Good to have you on. Yeah, anyway, guys, if you want to come in the live stream tonight, I will put a link in. So let's post another link if you want to chat to me. Like I say, a disappointing defeat. There's another link in there if you want to chat about it. So let's have a look. So embarrassing takeover needs to happen as a club, as we can't go on like this as a club next season. Yeah, I totally agree. Man City were a class above. There's no question about that. Karen Davison says, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I don't think any of them deserve to be man of the match. Kraft, that's about it. Up front, Toothless didn't offer anything in the midfield, non-existent. Shelby had one of his worst games. Didn't see anything from Lazaro. I thought he would have offered a bit more, given his starting chance. Didn't see anything from either of them, any player. I can't name one. Chris NUFC says Steve Bruce is trying to do a Rafa to play 5 at the back, and it does not work for him. Well, he should have learned after the Man City defeat in the FA Cup. He should have learned from the first part of last season. This doesn't work, and it's disappointing because we know Man City, it's a tough place to go at the best of times. But when you're playing 5 at the back, you're giving them the chance to say, do you know what? Well, we're not good. We're mid-table. We're safe. Score as many goals as you like. And that's exactly what it was tonight. And we're lucky not to have been thumped by more than just 5. I'm grateful that was the full-time score. And I'm not being, disrespectful towards our club in any way. And Steve Bruce, the way he set up the side, we could have lost that game 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-0. Man City completely played us off the park. And when you have that attitude, then Man City, with their quality, they'll punish you time and time again. And we got away with a big one. Big time. We really did. Anyway, we're going to read some more comments out. Jason Harwood says, the Premier League, now I'm nothing but a joke. Give us the go-ahead for the takeover. Yeah, it's what we want, but we don't know where the takeover's at. It's becoming really frustrating, really annoying. If only the club could say anything. If only the Premier League could say something. But then again, it's all legal, isn't it? If they can't say anything, then if it's private, then it's out of our hands. But it's been dragging on far too long now. I'm at that point where I'm starting to pass care with this takeover. I want it to happen, of course. I don't want Mike Ashley at this football club anymore. And you can see it with these results and where we've finished in the league, Steve Bruce and that. But yeah, like I say, I'm not more disappointed in the result. I'm more disappointed in the way the lads played, the way we're set up, the way we just didn't lay a glove on City. And if you play like that, then you're going to get hammered. And we're very lucky not to have been hammered by more. Daniel Graham says, Man City far too good tonight. Can't complain. Hope you lads are keeping all right despite the result. Like I say, Dan, if you want to come in the live stream, feel free to come in. We've got a free space. If you would like to come in and chat about the game, if Peter or anybody would like to come in, it'd be great to have you on. Yeah, Man City, no complaints. Too good for us. Silva was their man of the match, in my opinion. He completely played us off the park. He was the City's best player. And that free kick pretty much summed up his performance. You wouldn't think that he's going to retire at the end of the season, because easily David Silva could walk into our side. He could walk into anybody's side in their midfield and make it great. And yeah, listen, David Silva, he'll always be remembered for what a good player he was, but we gave him too much time on the ball. And with Man City's creative player in David Silva, you can't afford to do that. And we even made some of the average players look good. And there you go. I mean, even Foden, he missed an absolute sitter in the second half. I mean, I don't know how he hasn't scored. Capo says, who is our next game? Hope we can come back strong. It's Watford at the Vicarage Road, Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. We've got a chance, but we've really got to step up our game. We've really got to perform. We've got to play a lot better than we did this evening, because if we don't, Watford will be on my case. Watford are looking to stay in the Premier League. They've got a lot to play for. And their performance against, Norwich was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It was a fighting performance. And if they show the same fight against us, if we don't sort of compete with them, then we're in trouble. And Watford will be favourites to win this game because, listen, we're on the beach. We're on 43 points. And it's how many points we get between now and the end of the season. Koulibaly offer, I think he's being linked with a move to Liverpool, I believe. Karen Davison says, it doesn't matter who you play, whether you're up against a top team or one down the bottom, they should be playing to win. Yeah, exactly. I'm more disappointed in the fact of how we're set up and how we played. It kind of reminded me of Leicester away. It reminded me of Norwich. Players just couldn't be arsed. That was the attitude today. Can't be arsed. And if you watch back at that performance, yes, City play great football and they have great possession of the ball and, all this trick, skill, whatever. But we made them look good because we didn't lay a glove on them. We were second to every ball. And if you're second to every ball, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a good result. And the minute they scored that first goal, listen, the game was done. The game was done. Because you're thinking 1-0 is bad enough against Manchester City. It's a mountain to climb. 1-0 Manchester City away is a mountain to climb. You've got to try and stick in the game. You've got to try and go toe-to-toe with them, and we didn't. I was expecting Bruce to go brave, the 4-2-3-1 formation, and I just didn't see it. I just didn't see anything from the squad today to suggest that we did enough. Today it felt like a League Two side could have put up a better performance, could have put up a better defensive display to what we put up today. That was just no good. Just as well, Dubravka's a good keeper, because if he was awful, then I keep saying we could lose that game by double figures, and I wouldn't be taking the piss when I say that, because we were so bad, man. So bad. And what's that now? Man City have scored, 5, 7? They've scored 9 goals past us this season, and we've only scored 2. So on aggregate, they've won 9-2. 9-2. Their quality is up there, and ours is just on the floor at the minute. And we'll have to really knuckle down against Watford, because if we play the same way, then we're going to get the same punishment, unfortunately. Morton Murray has said, if we had a couple of players that knew how to score a hat-trick, we could have won 6-5. Well, even if we had ASM and Almiron, it would have been a big ask to even get something from the game any case. But even if we played ASM and Almiron, if we went in that game with 5 at the back, you just don't give yourself a chance to win the game. It was the same outcome at St James's Park in the FA Cup. If you go 5 at the back, you just don't give yourself a chance to win the game. And that's why I'm disappointed. You don't give yourself a chance to get a result. Never mind a win. I keep saying a win. It would have been a great result, a point. It would have felt like a win in Man City. But, I'm not like going to go absolutely mad, like angry, because I'm not angry. I'm just more just typical Newcastle, isn't it? When we're safe, we've got nothing to play for, the attitude just drops. The players just don't care. They're thinking, right, well, I'm playing for my next move, or I'm playing to wait for next season. The summer's, coming. But the fans want to see a performance, and we just didn't see it tonight, unfortunately. Not acceptable. It really isn't acceptable. Capo says, if we don't get a takeover soon, Mike will completely destroy this club. I totally agree. Mike actually doesn't want to spend a penny on this football club. He has no ambitions for Newcastle United Football Club. Look at some of the players that were brought in the past 5 years. The majority of them have been loan deals. And when we have a good player on the books like an ASM, like an Almiron, what does he do? Oh, yeah, he sells them. And you can't be surprised if he lets them go, at the end of the season. It's just, we need the takeover to happen. If it's going to happen now, if it's going to happen in the next 6 months, whatever, something needs to give, because right now we're sat here thinking what's going to happen next season. We don't know what the new kit's going to look like. We don't know who the new manufacturer is going to be. We don't know what players are coming in, what players are leaving. We don't know what's going on with Matty Longstaff. We don't know what's going to happen with Steve Bruce. Is he still going to be manager next season? What's going to happen with fans maybe going into the games next season, the stadium? Nobody really knows. And with Mike Ashley in charge, the future isn't bright at all. It's just, it's completely low at the minute. I'll put another link in at the minute. I haven't got anybody chatting at the minute, but if anyone would like to, I'll leave a link. So all you got to do is just click on the link, and I'll happily chat to you about the match tonight and get your thoughts on it and what your plans are for the club for next season. Hopefully, what do you think? David Wallace says Pete Graves is on the takeover. Well, we'll wait and see, mate. I can't really discuss about the takeover because my guess is as good as yours, isn't it? Champ Dude 17 says, don't know if you watched on BT, but the commentators were literally taking the piss out of us. Well, let's be honest with you. I had the commentary down because I don't like listening to the commentators of BT Sport because, listen, they're just, they're not up there, are they? They're not like the Champions League commentators, are they? But it was a poor game. I mean, I'm not surprised that they ripped the piss out of it because we couldn't lay a glove on City. We just defended for the whole game. We set up to not want to get anything. We set up not to even want to play. And if you don't have a go, you don't give yourself a chance of getting any result. I am kind of fearful for the next few results because we've got Watford. They've got something to play for. Tottenham coming up at home. Mourinho's never won at St James's Park. It would be typical if he was to get a result at St James's Park with no fans. And then we've still got to play Brighton away. No easy game. They're still trying to fight to stay in the league. You could say they're safe now, but they've got to try and make it mathematically sure. And then, of course, Liverpool, last game of the season. Honestly, it's at the minute, there's just no motivation left in the squad, is there? Obviously, injuries have been a huge hit. I'm not going to massively have a go at Steve Bruce for the result because it's the players on the pitch who, quite rightly got to put out the display, and they didn't. I think they've let him down. But Steve Bruce didn't help with the formation, I will say that. And if you give Man City any sort of sniff on the ball, any sort of hint of possession, and if you can't defend, then unfortunately they'll punish it. We made so many mistakes. And what I'm more disappointed about is the goals were too easy. They were far too easy. Man City did not have to work for any of their goals tonight. Not one of them. The first one for Jesus, too easy. It's a simple tap in. He'll never score an easier goal in his career. The second one, again, inside the box. Nobody's marking up Mahrez. Easy goal. 2-0. Game, set and match. And then 2-0, you're thinking, well, lucky just to be 2-0 down. Second half, again, same old. Didn't get anywhere near them. We couldn't lay a glove on them. And the third goal, just comical, isn't it? Absolutely comical. I mean, how you let Jesus just run straight through your defence like that, and it comes to a point it's an own goal. It goes past Dubravka like it does. Again, embarrassing. Third goal. 3-0, gone. It's how many goals they're going to score now. Steve Bruce rings the changes. It doesn't make any difference. We're not getting anything from the game. It's all down to pure fitness. Then again, the players shouldn't even be fatigued because they haven't done anything. They haven't ran enough in the game. They haven't defended well enough. They haven't put up a sweat in that game. The fourth goal, great free kick. You could argue it wasn't a free kick. You could say Shaw won the ball, but listen, it doesn't matter. We've got to defend well from the free kick. It's probably a better free kick than what it is poor defending, but at the end of the day, Man City have taken that opportunity. It's good quality, and it's something that we massively, miss. And then the fifth goal, again, is just, comical again. 5-0 down. It's just we've been completely rolled over by a very good side, but not just the fact that they've played well. I would say they've not really had to play well to get that result. We've allowed them to play like that because of the way we're set up, 5 at the back. And they would have investigated that. They would have said, Newcastle don't play well with 5 at the back. Pep Guardiola would have done his homework on us before we even kicked the ball, even second half. He would have got at them at half time and said, you're only 2-0 up. We should be 3, 4, 5, 6-0 up. And that's why I was a lot more grateful at that point. But it's one of them nights, isn't it, where we're just going to have to dust ourselves down and go again against Watford. We can't dwell on the result too much. We was never favourites to win the game anyway, but the performance has to be 10 times better than that. We can't just say, right, the season's done now. We've still got 4 more games left. 4 more games to try and pick up as many points as possible. And I think it would be very disappointing if we ended the season like that, just getting beat and not putting up, a real fight. Watford, there's no excuse on Saturday. I'm sorry to say there's no excuse. Watford are nowhere near the level of Manchester City. Daniel Graham says, come on in a bit, my brother. in a mood for a good rant after tonight. Yeah, exactly. I'll be only live for another 20 minutes. So if you do want to come in the live stream tonight, please click the link and I'll end it about 9 o'clock. So please make sure if you want to have a chat, get in very, very quickly. Otherwise, you will miss out. But yeah, I understand why you want to have a rant, because for me, it's not about the scoreline. It's more about the performance. It's more about the attitude, the passion of the players. And I just didn't see any of that. And Steve Bruce and the players just need to have a big look at themselves after that. Because for me, Steve Bruce was wrong on the formation, the way he went about it. The squad selection was a bit hitty-missy. But, you know, the way we just didn't get in their faces and just didn't have a go. We had the defeatist attitude from the first minute. And you know what it is, right? I mean, I used to play football many years ago, and even I would have put in a better performance than that. Just disappointing. Naptip Bennon says we need a takeover. Yes, we do. And with Mike Ashley in charge next season, we're not going to get anywhere. It's just going to be mid-table yet again, staying in the Premier League. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we lose Almiron and ASM, because we've seen it all too much with Mike Ashley in charge. We'll lose with better players. That's just the way it goes. And yeah, I'm just gutted for myself having to watch that for 90 minutes. You know, the performance just. I've seen better efforts from Championship, League One, League Two sides against Manchester City at the Etihad. I've seen better performances from them. But how is it today? We couldn't put up a fight. You know what I mean? I don't mind we're getting beat 5-0 as long as we actually work the goalkeeper and have a go. But didn't see enough of it. Kate Buss says, I'll have to go. See you later. Yeah, all the very best, mate. And I will just say now, if you haven't liked the video, please do. It just takes literally 2 seconds to do that. If you could subscribe, that would be great as well. The channel just keeps on growing. And the more people that do subscribe, the better. And you can keep that interaction with me and the channel. We do have a guest coming in, and I believe it is Lawrence Taylor. How's it going, mate?
Hey.
Welcome to the stream.
Hey.
Lawrence, you are lagging out a little bit. You might have to come back in.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, try and come back in. I'll continue reading the comments. Martin Murray says, would you sell a golden goose? Cashley wouldn't. Well, that's it. He makes too much money from the fans, doesn't he? We're such a passionate support. You know, we love the club. We want to see the club succeed. You know, we pack out the home and away ends. If only Mike Ashley's seen the true passion of the club and how lucky he is to have the club that he's got. He's just used us as a make way for his business, you know, and that's just the way it always has been. And when you see the quality of Manchester City and what can be achieved there to our quality, you can see why we are 12th in the league, mid-table, and why Man City are second in the league. And you could say next season they will possibly go on and win the league, and they've won the league before. They're in the Champions League. You know, they've won FA Cups, League Cups. You can see why they win things because, you know, with a little bit of investment from the top, you know, that's the difference. They put a bit of investment in, you get good results. If you put little investment in and you get, you know, loan deals, then you're going to get very little in return. And yeah, there was a massive gap between ourselves and Manchester City. You know, fair play to them. They played really well in certain points of the game, but we allowed them to play. That's the thing. I would say that it was a bit of a steamroll for Man City. You know, they were too good for us, and we allowed them to score the goals that they did. And like I say, I'm sat here thinking, how on earth have we not lost by more? Hello, mate. All right, no problem. It'll be 2 seconds, guys. All right, no problem.
It's not perfect.
No.
Because I've had to try and get up the top of that cap thing, whatever it was, and it would look stupid.
No, that's fine.
It'll be a little bit out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll look a little bit. But apart from that, all right.
No, that's enjoying it. Can you actually paint over this or not?
Oh, yeah.
You put white paint on it.
All right, put white paint on it.
Ah, so we'll have to just paint.
So let it dry out.
And
Just paint.
no, that's fine. You do a cracker job. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's absolutely
I'm
fine.
going to take it the best I can.
No, we'll sort it out.
It'll be a little bit.
It's getting repainted anyway, so they've got plenty of things. So no, I appreciate that. Yes. Right.
I can't see this stuff.
Yes, no problem. I appreciate your time, mate. Thank you very much. All right, 62, please. See you later, mate. Right. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. just had a worker in the house just doing some work. So would you sell a Golden Goose? I think I've already read that out. And let's have a look at Lawrence Taylor. Can we get him back into the stream?
Hello.
I think we can. Lawrence, how's it going?
Pretty annoyed after that.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Obviously, Manchester City 5, Newcastle United 0. I'm more disappointed at the way we went about the game. I'm disappointed with the 5 at the back. I know a lot of fans will say, well, it's Man City, we were going to go 5 at the back, but I'm not only disappointed with that, I'm disappointed with the fact we had that defeatist attitude from the minute goal. We just looked as if we were done. Man City have got the quality. The defending was really poor. I mean, let's be honest with you, Lawrence. For all 5 goals, Man City didn't have to work for one of those goals. It was too easy. Not one.
Exactly. For me, Fernandez had well, I'll probably say his worst game of the season. Yedlin I think he wants away, judging on that performance.
He's absolutely shit. Honestly, mate, he's shit. He's so bad. Like, no wonder he doesn't get a game anymore. And he only gets a game now because we're lacking in injuries. You know what I mean? We're lacking in personnel. But for the performance, I mean, the first goal by Jesus, I mean, who's marking him? Who's marking him? I mean, he'll never score an easier goal in his career.
Exactly, and you could say the same for Mahrez's goal.
Yeah. Who's marking him? Like, who is marking Mahrez? Who's marking him?
Yep. For me, I would have put Sher at centre back and Kraft at right back for this game. I mean, I still think Kraft could have done a lot better than he did tonight, because I think he's done all right when he had played centre back for a few games in January.
I don't think he was. By the way, I don't think he was the worst player though tonight. I think he was all right. I thought he was solid. He done a job for what he had to do. But the thing is, we were getting too overrun in that midfield. Shelby, I thought, was really poor. I didn't see anything from him. Joe Linton again just goes lost and missing in most games. Didn't see nothing from Lazaro. Didn't see anything from Matt Ritchie. I didn't see anything from anybody. Not one player on that pitch I see nothing from. I know Man City have got quality. And fair enough, yes, they were going to win. They were always probably going to win the game. But there's no excuse for getting outrun in that midfield. But I think Bruce needs to take a bit of blame for the way he set up. I mean, yes, it's all ifs and buts now. I'll look at it and think, if we went 4-2-3-1, I don't mind getting beat. I don't mind getting absolutely hammered, as long as we use that formation to have a go. That formation's been getting us results. Did Steve Bruce not learn after the 2-0 defeat against Man City in the FA Cup? It's pretty much the same outcome, apart from in the FA Cup, we probably should have lost by more. But this time, Man City have put one to the sword, especially in that second half.
Well, what's to say? I know he played Cher as like that one defensive mid, but I mean, I'm glad he went forward at the back. But the way it was set up just to defend, it
felt more like a 5 at the back. To be honest with you, we didn't do anything. Like we're too deep. That's the thing. And Man City, they'll never have an easier home game all season. Do you know what I mean? Just as well we are safe, but the third goal, I'll just talk about that. I mean, the own goal was just comical at best. I mean, Jesus just went straight through the defence like it wasn't there. And obviously it come off Fernandez, unfortunately for him. And Matt Ritchie got in a bit of a tangle with Fernandez. But at the end of the day, they've got to look at each other and they've got to think, one of you have got to try and put a tackle in. One of you have got to try and clear that. You can't just let City with their quality, especially one player in Jesus who can score goals for fun. Just, get a fortunate own goal, which fair enough he'll not claim. But he's not had to work for that goal. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, Jesus was good tonight, but we're just making things too easy for him and for Manchester City in general. Somebody needs to stop him. I mean, you can't really blame Ritchie because he's just trying like.
What about the fourth goal? I mean, you could argue it probably wasn't a free kick, but at the end of the day, they've got quality. They made it count. David Silva, who scored the goal, by the way, the free kick was brilliant. My man of the match by far. You completely outplayed us in that midfield, and I think you got man of the match if I'm not wrong.
You did, yeah.
And I mean, you could say it's probably a good goal rather than poor defending, but even with that free kick, you've got to try and do better. But then. You could talk about the fifth goal and for Raheem still, and it's just too easy, man, isn't it? I mean, 5-0. You know what? I'm more disappointed in the fact of we haven't laid a glove on them. You know what I mean? I don't mind getting beat 5-0 as long as we have a go, and that's what I'm more disappointed in. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed more than anything else. I'm not going to come on here and rant about Steve Bruce, he's this, he's that. I'm only disappointed in Steve Bruce for the formation because he hasn't learned from it. Whereas if he'd had a go with 4-2-3-1, there's a chance. We'd give ourselves a chance to maybe try and frustrate City for long periods and only maybe lose the game 2-3-1. But today, if I'm not wrong, Lawrence, we could have lost that game double figures. You look at the Leicester City 9-0 win down at Southampton. This game could have been 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They had 70, 80% possession. We couldn't lay a glove on them.
I think, potentially could have been that if, say, Aguero was playing. I mean, I know Jesus scored. Or maybe if or maybe if it wasn't for Dubravka. But, for the free kick, I mean, was it just a good... I mean, kind of like caught out, taking it pretty quickly. But I think it was Shelby or Bentaleb who ducked for that free kick, from what I've read.
You can't do that at this level, though. You know, Man City, don't get us wrong, he's a great player, David Silva. He's got wonderful ability and we know what he can do, but you can't duck out of tackles, you can't duck out of defending. That, at the end of the day, yes, you could say it's the defence's job, but when it's like a free kick from just just outside the box, you've got to do your job to try and defend for your club, for the badge. And I just didn't see anything from that today. And for that goal, that free kick just summed up actually, let's be honest, the first half just summed up the full game, if I'm honest. The first 10 minutes.
Well, exactly. It was game over within, 20 minutes when they got the second. But, as for the fifth goal, what is Bentaleb doing? Now, I want him to start.
But he's not good enough for this football club, is he? He's not good enough to play next season. I don't want to see him back.
Nah, and for me, I'd probably just give Matty a start on Saturday.
The thing is, obviously, Man City won 5-0. Fair play to you, deserve to win the game. But Matty Longstaff, let's talk about him. I mean, what's going on with him at the minute? Does he want to sign this contract or not? Because at the end of the day, if it's all down to money, I mean, I really like the lad. I've spoken to him at the reserve games, and I think I'm sure he's passionate about the football club. And Steve Bruce talks about he's made this special offer of a contract, but listen, we need to know what's going on, because this has been dragging on far too long, and that's not going to do his confidence any good. It's not going to do the fans' confidence any good. What do you think is going to happen to Matty Longstaff?
I feel like he's going to stay. I don't believe anything about the supposed 30k off from Udinese when the highest earners on 25k. I just don't think anybody would make a 20-year-old their highest paid player. But if it's 20k, especially if you've got a 10k appearance bonus, that's good offer for him.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think he's worth about 10, 15k a week, if that, because at the end of the day, yes, I know he's scored some crucial goals for us against Man United. Obviously, he scored a couple at Old Trafford. Scored one at Old Trafford. He scored, he's a good player, but he doesn't play enough games, and that, for me, doesn't warrant like 20, 30 grand a week. And I think what you're saying is, next season, offer him that, 10, 15 grand a week, and then give him maybe some bonus if he scores or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think he plays enough. If he's a main starter, then fair enough. Maybe offer him 20, 30 grand a week, but I don't think he's worth that, in my opinion, because he's not guaranteed to get in that midfield as much as he's got ability.
Exactly. No, I know the lad, but I hope he's not. I kind of hope he's not watching it, given that I'm a friend of his. But again, at 20 years old, he shouldn't really be guaranteed a first team spot. I think when Shelby and Hayden, for me, have been our best two midfielders this season. But I was going to say, but I think one of the issues people bring up with is, we've given Sivet this amount, call back this amount. I'm like, well, we made those mistakes, but they're in the past. We cannot really do much about it. I mean, if we're going to release, we've got to honour the contracts. I mean,
we're in a bit of a mess. People don't realise that. We don't even know what's going on with the club. We don't know what's going on with this alleged takeover. We don't know what's going to happen to Steve Bruce, where his future is going to be. Is he going to be at the club next season? We don't know what players are coming, what players are going. We don't even know what kit manufacturer we've got. We don't even know what the kits are going to look like next season. We don't know if fans are going to get back into stadiums. There's so many question marks at this football club. And the problem that I'm having with the top is nobody communicates, and that's the big issue. Whereas other football clubs, it doesn't seem like it's a problem. Something will get said. The Premier League's let the takeover drag on now, which I don't feel is right. Yes, you can talk about your legal side of things, but that's been going on for months. And I think the fans, like ourselves, need a bit of clarity. You know, we can't just keep accepting Mike Ashley a mid-table, mediocre football, because that's what we are at the minute. And as fans might not like what I say here, we are a mid-table, mediocre football club until things change.
Exactly. I think, well, Premier League has just been a disgrace throughout all this. Because I was saying this last week. I don't know. I think as for when fans can get back to stadiums, we've got to see how the situation improves with the virus. Maybe in the maybe it might be the Premier League fans that last to come in, because if EFL clubs have to start behind closed doors, then potentially we could see clubs like potentially Wigan, Macclesfield go bust. But yeah, so many questions need answering. I mean, you got to think, when is like the next fans forum? Because isn't that like just once a year?
Yeah, exactly. We don't hear enough from that either. But then again, that's because the club block it. The club, when we have some sort of fans meeting, Mike Ashley or Lee Charnley will come up with an excuse to say, "Oh, we can't make it." Absolute load of bollocks. They can't be bothered.
Well, yeah, and it should be probably once a month or once every 2 months, but I think but obviously, yeah, we'd definitely need more community. I've seen other chairmen speak to the media. Mike Ashley's not been doing that. Yeah,
we've had like one or two, haven't we, with Mike Ashley, and that's about it. It's not enough in 13 years, in my opinion. But like I say, on the actual result itself, I mean, I wouldn't say, because fans will say, well, it's paper over the cracks because some of you guys have started to go for Steve Bruce. I think we kind of expected the defeat, but not by the way in which it's happened. Not by, well, in fact, we're expecting the players to have a go, maybe, put up a fight, have a go, do something, but we didn't see any of that. Lawrence, it's been good having you on the channel. I'm going to bring Peter in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on tonight, mate, and I wish you well, and I'll see you after the Watford game.
Aye.
Take it easy, mate. Let's add into the stream. PD Product, how's it going?
Tell me about that performance there. Jesus Christ, man.
Well, I look at it. I'm thinking 5-0 to Manchester City. The scoreline is kind of what was expected in a sense. Yeah. I'm more disappointed in the way in which the lads performed. I'm disappointed with, people could say it was 4 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever. But when you don't lay a glove on Manchester City and you defend like we did, and if you just don't get forward and you lose the ball every 5 seconds, and if you don't get a couple of passes together, and if you let Man City's quality dictate play, then they're just going to punish you time and time and time again. And what I'm more disappointed with is the fact we didn't try tonight. We didn't look as if we really wanted to try and get anything from the game. We kind of accepted that Man City, you've got a better side. Fair enough, they deserve to win, take nothing away from them. But that is the easiest performance in their home ground that they're going to have all season. For me, the goals were far too easily. They didn't have to work for them. That's the thing. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, but they didn't have to work for it. Honestly, right, the goals that they scored, they will never ever score easier goals in their careers. That's how easy it was tonight. But like I say, Peter, you might have a different opinion. What's your thoughts on the game tonight?
Rotten attitude from the players tonight. It felt like we turn up and just can't be bothered. That's what it felt like out there tonight. I thought the lineup, it looked 4 at the back because it looks like Cher was playing a lot more in midfield. But honestly, you can't go to a game and perform like that. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Honestly, nah. Sorry, but I think that's bang out of order.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, though, Peter? I can't use the excuse of, well, we didn't have Almiron on in St. Maximum, because at the end of the day, we've still got to try. These lads have been given a chance to try and stake a claim in the side. So, for example, you look at Valentino Lazaro, who started, Bentaleb. They were absolutely shite. Honestly, I can't name one player tonight that played well. I would possibly say Kraft. I think he's been much improved. But apart from that, Dubravka kept winning the game. We just didn't look like it, unfortunately. And do you know what it is? I'm grateful, sat here tonight, that we've only lost 5-0. This game, right? If you look back at it, should have finished double figures. It really should have.
Could have been, for sure. I don't think Joe Linton's hold-up play was that bad, to be honest.
I just don't. But the thing is, Peter, though, he's a striker and we're not seeing enough of him. He was too quiet. Shelby was disappointing, didn't see anything from him. Richie, didn't see anything from him. I mean, the own goal, which deflected off Fernandez, that summed up his performance at the end of the day. We didn't see anything from Lazaro. I didn't see anything from Bentaleb. Like I say, I didn't see anything from anybody to suggest that we were even going to cause Edison any problems. He had nothing to do tonight, unfortunately. He'll never have an easier game all season. And do you know what? What I'm so disappointed is it's the defeatist attitude from the first minute. Exactly. We just didn't care. In the first 10 minutes, but the minute Jesus got that goal for Man City.
Exactly. I mean, you can't just pick certain players out and make them the scapegoats. You point the finger at all of the team tonight for sure. Because honestly, felt like turn up can be asked.
Do you know what it is, Peter? I'm not angry. I'm more disappointed because I feel like I'm not saying we're going to win the game or get a draw. I said a draw just to be behind the lads, give a bit of confidence. If we played well, who knows what could have happened? We could have got a draw. It would have felt like a win. But even if we'd lost 1 or 2-0, or even if we'd lost 5-0 and tried, fair enough. You take nothing away from their quality. That's the difference. But the thing is tonight, right? It's if the lads just thought, well, we're mid-table. We've got 5 games left. We've got Man City. They're not winning the Premier League. They're a good side. They're better than us. You know what it is, though, right? And I haven't said it for the past few games, but I have to blame Steve Bruce again because it's more of a 5 at the back again. He's never learned anything off the Man City game from the FA Cup. This time, they've put one to the sword.
See, it didn't look like a 5 at the back, but you feel like it may as well. It would have been.
Well, it pretty much was the way we defend, the way we played. Like we couldn't get it with the fingers. We couldn't get out. We're on off. I mean, yes, that is normal when you play Man City, but not for as long as we had without the ball. I mean, that's bad.
I just think it was down to the players' attitude, rotten. Felt like they couldn't give a shit tonight, and that's what's really pissed me off with this game tonight for sure.
Do you know what it is? When I look at the goals that went in, I mean, Jesus, I mean, who was marking him? Mahrez, who was marking you? I mean, Jesus for the 3rd goal. I mean, who was actually putting in a tackle? Nobody. The 4th goal, yeah, great free kick. You could argue that it probably wasn't a free kick in my opinion, but there we go, it was given. You could say, yeah, great free kick, but you can't duck out with a free kick. You've got to try and at least do something. In the 5th goal is just...
Oh, yeah. No, honestly, I'm just... Cannot do that, and particularly in the next game when we've got Watford for sure. I mean, like, honestly...
I was just about to bring up Watford. I mean, they've just beaten Norwich City 2-1, albeit they weren't fantastic, but they showed real grit and determination against a side that's already relegated, I would say, and they're looking to stay up. I mean, Watford on paper, they've got a decent side. I mean, they've just obviously struggled, and Nigel Pearson's got them playing. But after that performance tonight, they'll be rubbing their hands thinking, do you know what it is? We're at home at Newcastle, they're on the beach, they didn't really put up a glove on Man City, and their confidence will be low. Here's our chance to maybe get 6 points in a week, and we could be on 34 and I wouldn't say safe, but we'll give ourselves a chance of staying up. Whereas 2 weeks ago, that's not possible. But I think right now, any club is looking forward to playing us in the last 5 games because, I mean, you look at what fixtures coming up. I mean, who we got? Watford. It's winnable. Tottenham. I wouldn't be surprised if Mourinho gets his first win at St James's Park without fans. And then you've got, I mean, Tottenham are a decent side. And then we've got Brighton, no easy game because who knows where they're going to be in the Premier League table. And then last game of the season, Liverpool. We don't know what's going to happen from them, but they're literally Man City as well. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I think, but also the players have got to look at themselves and come out and say that was totally unacceptable from us today. Make sure we're ready up and fired for the next game. And you never know what possibly could get something out of the game next.
We've got to put up a better performance than that.
Absolutely. I mean, I hear when I see performances and rotten attitudes like that in any football match, it's just not acceptable for sure. And I don't.
What was it? Was it 1 or 2 shots bad on target the whole game? Embarrassing.
On target, and it's honestly, it's just not acceptable at all. I mean, like, come on, these players are getting paid thousands of pounds a week to perform on a pitch, week in, week out. Honestly, and.
This is a good comment, Peter. Champ Dude 17 says Bentaleb especially was poor for he was, to be fair. I mean, no one knew there. But he should not be getting in the squad over Matty Longstaff. But then again, even Matty's attitude's been a bit off as well. Like, obviously, I'll ask you the same question. what's going to happen to Matty Longstaff, because apparently he's been offered this deal of a new contract, but where's his attitude off? Like, is it going to be at the club for next season, or is he going to move on? Because, you know, this has been dragging on for a long time, just like the takeover. What's going on? I mean, did you see enough from Matty to suggest that he's going to be here next season?
How long did he come on in the game again? I don't think he come on with... but...
Wasn't enough. The game was done anyway. It doesn't matter when he came on. He couldn't really influence the game.
Yeah, I'm hoping he stays Matty Longstaff, but we just got to wait and see. I mean, like, I'm 50-50 on whether that he'll sign, and the other 50-50 is that I don't think he will sign. Yeah,
so there's more comments coming in. The thing is, though, lesser clubs have beaten Prem clubs so many times, but they've wanted to win and fought for it. Yeah, I was talking about, I've seen more fight for Championship clubs, League One clubs, League Two clubs against Manchester City at the ETIHAD, and today that was absolutely pathetic.
Exactly. Southampton last week against Manchester City.
Albeit, though, you could say, yeah, it was at St Mary's, but it's 50-50 these games. Each game is 50-50 because there's no fans.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm just totally annoyed after that.
Nick Seabright says, did the lads train differently against the top two teams? Toothless against a team like Bournemouth, we looked alive, up for it, and had intensity, but we had an out for 90 plus minutes tonight. Disappointing isn't a word. Yeah, I totally agree with him. I think obviously Bournemouth had our best side out. I wasn't expecting a 4-1 win. It's amazing what happens in a week. You know, we win 4-1 at Bournemouth this time last week, and now we'll get beat 5-0. But then there's two different caliber of sides. You know, you got Bournemouth who, let's be honest with you, they're shite. But then you got Manchester City, you got Man City who are like class above, like, you know, these sides.
Yeah, but I just don't. Honestly, I'm still just after that performance.
You're still puzzled. Are you still puzzled?
Yeah, you just feel like asking the question, why go into a game with that kind of attitude? For sure,
stinking. Absolutely, it was rotten. But he said, obviously, you know, we look toothless. Well, we were like, I don't mind like going to Man City and get beat that scoreline, but have a go. Like, you know, just don't sit back and just don't just have the attitude like, oh well, our squad's worse off than yours. You are better than us. Come and break it down. That's literally what it was from the very start. And
that's what it was.
Do you feel sorry for Dubravka? I think he kept winning it. I mean, as he always does.
Sometimes Manchester City missed some easy chances as well.
Foden in the second half.
5-0 looks a bit flattering for us. It could have been a lot more.
I am flattered by the score. I really do think it should have been double figures because they literally played us off the park. Like, we really shouldn't be in this league. Like that was a difference. Do you know what I mean? It felt as if we weren't even a Premier League side. That's how poor we were. Like, and that's the difference of their quality and what we've got. And obviously, there's been talk about the takeover. More fans are disappointed. They're like, we want the takeover to happen. I've always said I've washed my hands of it. Like, I'm not really at the point now where I can't be arsed with it. I want it to happen, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But with Mike Ashley next season, it's more worry, isn't it?
It is, yeah, that is the thing.
Karen Davison said she wouldn't be surprised if Matty Longstaff left. And now, as much as I love the lad, I'll give my opinion first. I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to further his career elsewhere, if he goes to Udinese or if he goes a different club. You know, I wish the lad all the very best, because you know what it is, right? If he's going to win trophies, he's better off winning them elsewhere than being at this football club under Mike Ashley, because with Mike Ashley at this football club, we're not winning jack shit.
He doesn't want to see us win trophies at this club. No chance he does.
But all in all, like with the performance, I mean, there's nothing I can really say about it to say that I took any positives from it.
No positives at all from that game whatsoever.
I'll take one positive. I'll take one positive from it. One. Do you know what the positive is?
Let me guess. Was it the final whistle when it blew?
Yeah. pretty much, yeah. Like I think we were all saying in the group chat there, we can't wait for the final whistle. I mean, this game, I'm not, honestly, Peter, I'm not going to lie. I kept moving away from the TV. I kept going away from it because you know what it is. I thought this game, it's dead food. It's dead. We're not doing anything in the game. Let's go and make me tea. Let's go and do that. That may be more interesting. Let's go and do something different, because let's be honest with you, Newcastle aren't going to offer anything. So I might get some more offer in the kitchen. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I had a worker in the house tonight, right, and I had more time chatting with him than I did actually watching the TV. So.
Well, is it all, doesn't it?
Honestly, you know, I had more entertainment talking to him about, you know, the football and life and stuff like that. And honestly, today, like, I was tired watching that game. If I'm being brutally honest with you. Jonathan Young has said, "Were you happy with Bruce's tactics?" No, I wasn't. I wasn't happy at all. I think you could say, well, you could say, what more could he do with the injury situation? But there's no excuse to play like that. It's the way we played that's disappointed us. I'm not angry because Man City, you know, they're favourites to win the game. It's not like we've played.
I'm just diverting my annoyance more to the players than the manager for just not giving a shit tonight.
You know, it's not like we've played a Crystal Palace away or we've played a Bournemouth, or otherwise I would have been angry with that performance. I understand it's Manchester City. They've got a great side, you know, great manager. They've got some great players. If only we could have what they've got, you know. And you look at the care at the top of their football club, you know, for what their players offer to their fans and what their fans can see on a week-by-week basis. It must be an absolute joy. And you see that the players are safe. And I'm disappointed that with a defeatist attitude, like we just didn't give a shit and we just accepted. I'm sure a lot of players would have been looking at the previews before the game, like, the fans aren't really that bothered if we get beat, so let's just... and Bruce would have seen them anyway, like, oh, well, we'll just set up with 5 at the back. I mean, does he not learn? Against Man City, it doesn't fucking work. Like, no, I'd rather get beat more than 5-0 having a go.
Exactly. That's what you want to see them do.
I'm sorry to say, we play 5 at the back against Man City, right, and we still concede 5, and it could have been double figures. We're playing 5 at the back, 5 players at the back. Thing is, when midfield got totally overrun, I think we needed more in that midfield in order to stop David Silva. We didn't do anything on David Silva. No wonder he got given man of the match, because there was no defenders there, no midfield there to try and gang up on him and try and get in his face. We just didn't do enough. De Bruyne, he had a free run, you know, in the stadium. I mean, these players wouldn't have had an easier game all season, no question.
Exactly, walk in the park for him. It was the night, simple as that.
Yeah. Anthony Wabo says, painful game to watch. It was a very difficult game to watch more than anything. As I said before, I'm more disappointed rather than angry. I'm disappointed for the performance and the result. Listen, that is what it is. You know, that could have happened at any point, but I want to see the lads try. I want to see the lads at least show a bit of fight, a bit of passion. You know, play for the badge, man. Play for the badge. Yes, exactly. We've got 5 games to go. We're on 43 points. If there's one negative with the goal difference, well, it's took me down a place now. Southampton have gone up because of the goal difference. We're now 13th, but makes no difference. Any chances about a Europe were gone anyway against West Ham. I think we've been really poor since the Bournemouth game. I think West Ham were very lucky in that game to even get a result. If I'm being brutally honest with you.
Exactly. Yes. And,
thing is, Peter, something has got to change against Watford, because if we turn up like that against Watford, they are literally going to put us to the sword again, and we're going to get beat again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, like I say, the result doesn't bother us. I'm grateful for the final whistle. I'm glad it wasn't more. It's the all-round performance. I want to see the lads sweat for the shirt.
Yeah,
passion.
It just was none of that there tonight.
Do you know what it is? When I watched it, I wasn't actually angry watching it. I was just disappointed. Like, do you know how it is, right? If you was kind of be arsed, I simply kind of be arsed watching you. So I just kept away from the TV for a bit, and I came back and I'm like, oh well, we've conceded again. What a fucking surprise!
Oh,
we've got another guest. It's your mate, Dan Graham. Oh, it's our mate.
Oh.
Hello, Dan. How's it going, mate? Come on, Dan. Get the rant on. Get the rant on.
Hey, how's it going? You right?
Well, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed with the result. I think I'm just disappointed the way we're set up. I'm disappointed with the goals that were conceded. I think it was too easy for Manchester City. I think the marking was non-existent. I think we're set up all wrong, as if the lads were ready to go on holiday. That the flip-flops out.
It was too easy for Man City, man. We were pathetic tonight. I mean, the way we were playing over the last few games, you could think we could get a decent result tonight, but to lose 5-0, nah, pathetic, if you ask me.
Well, me and Peter can take one positive from that game, and I'm sure you probably heard the final whistle.
Yeah, too, right? I mean, us to play, we played. I mean, against Sheffield United, we attacked well. I mean, the big miss tonight by far was the Maximan. If we had him, it would have been a far less result. But to lose 5-0, it was coming.
That's difficult to say though, because when Almiron and St. Maximin against them the last time, and they still carved open, but obviously this time they've took it to the sword. For me, there was a chance there for the lads who don't really get a game to really shine, and they just didn't do anything. And by the way, what I am going to say to Steve Bruce, Why did Mutu come on with 8 minutes to go? Why is Mutu even here if he's not getting a game? He's fully fit. Joe Linton can't hit a barn door to save his life, and yet he still gets a game over Mutu. Mutu, right, has probably put in more effort in his last few games that he's had than what Joe Linton's done the full season. I mean, he scored against Leicester. He scored at Old Trafford, right, when he plays the odd time. Why does this guy not get a game? Has he got something that we don't know about?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Muto, but he's not permanent quality. It really isn't.
Oh, I get that for today's match, and the game was already done. But why is he bringing them on with like 5-10 minutes to go when we're already like 4-0 down at the time? Like, why does he not just start him and give the lad a chance? Like, I mean, I'd like to see him start against Watford. I know I'm not going to say it, but why? The thing is tonight, I think the whole lads have disgraced the club. Like, not just Bruce needs to take a bit of blame for the way we're set up, but the lads just didn't lay a finger on City. I get they've got a great side. It must be a joy to watch them. But you can't. The goals that City scored, it was too easy. Like it's like a League Two side up against the Premier League side. Like you just was simply, it's too easy. You know what I mean? We felt like let's name a club, a Newport or something against like Man City in the FA Cup. That's how bad it was. When I look at this game today, we're lucky not to lose the game double figures. I'm so grateful that we've only just lost 5-0.
And I mean, I watched the game against Man City in the FA Cup, and I mean, considering we didn't attack at all in the FA Cup match, so to watch us tonight, it was coming. To be honest with you, it was absolutely coming. To lose 5-0, giving City easy play. Nah, we didn't stand a chance. We absolutely did not stand a chance. And yeah, I mean, I like Muto. He is a good player, but I'd rather play Andy Carroll. To be honest with you, I'd rather have put Andy Carroll on with Muto. But
do you know what it is? I can't name one player that had a good game. Not one. Apart from Kraft, maybe to an extent, but Kraft, I'll give him the credit. But apart from that, just had a defeatist attitude. Like the game was there as if the game, well, it's a free hit, isn't it? You know what I mean? We can't be asked.
No, I mean, no one will win a Man City. You know, we played in the FA Cup match.
The thing is, Man City will never have had an easier game all season. The 5 goals were embarrassing. I mean, the fourth one was a great goal. I'll give them that for David Silva, but the other 4 goals were embarrassing by our standards. They really are. Like, they've not that simple tap-ins, and they'll never score easier goals in that career. Honestly, it was just so easy. The man marking was ridiculous. Like 5 at the back, and we're still marked like that. 5 at the back, and we're still marked like that. I understand if you're playing 3 at the back, 5 at the back, and you concede goals like that. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of compare him with David Silva. I mean, he is quality. So
man of the match, deserved it. He outplayed with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Man City are going to miss him big time when he leaves next season. So when Silva leaves, he'll be a big miss to Man City. But they've still got absolute quality on their side. Even without Aguero, I mean, if Aguero played, we probably would concede 7 or 8. To be honest with you,
honestly, I think with his current side against their side at the minute, like today, we could easily have lost that game double figures. I'm not lying to you. Like, we could have lost that 12, 13, 14, 15-0. You look at the Southampton game, right, when they got battered at home off Leicester. This, for me, was up there with the Leicester City game that we played down at the King Power when we lost 5-0, and that was absolutely embarrassing, by the way. But then the Norwich game, it was that defeatist attitude. Like, the players just, well, season's done now. I'm playing for my career. Like, where we're going to go next season. I don't know. I looked at that game. They looked at that game as if it was a free hit. I think both Steve Bruce and the players need to have a look at themselves after that and think, did Steve Bruce will say, did I do enough to try and give the lads a chance of winning the game? And the players need to look at themselves and say, did I really give enough for the badge? Did I really give enough for the fans in that game today? Not one of them can say that they did. Dubravka kept winning the game for long periods, but the longer you watched it, the more tired and frustrating you were getting. Like I say, I'm not angry, by the way, with the fact we've lost, because it was kind of, it was coming. I gave away a chance of a draw if we turned up, but that was always a long shot. Of course, I'm going to back the lads. I'm going to get behind my club, but I'm more frustrated with the way we played, because I've seen us play a lot better than that against top opposition, not just Man City. I've seen we go to Anfield and only lose by a little margin and play well, and they've got a good side, by the way. I've seen we play well against like an Arsenal in the past. I've seen we play well, against like a Tottenham. I've seen we play well against Chelsea, who've got decent sides on paper, but tonight they're just for 43 points. We're not going to get Europa League. Bruce is like, just go and express yourself and just see what you can do. I mean, that's not the attitude you should be telling them.
No, absolutely not. You want to go out there with sporting attitude, and they were Newcastle today. We didn't have any of it at all. We were absolutely pathetic, and you know.
Sorry, I was going to put my phone on, John.
Yeah, man. The way we could see the goals as well, it was too easy for City. It really was too easy, and it was predictable. I mean, we have a really poor record at the ETIHAD.
Shocking record. Shocking.
Exactly. So it was a very, very predictable result. I mean, I put 3-0. So to go for Man City to go and win 5, good enough for them, really. But it was very, very predictable, and considering
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is though? Fair play to them. They've got a great side. They play some great football, but because we didn't lay a glove on them, it made it too easy for them. That's the problem.
They do have a great side. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne in midfield. For me, De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the world, in my opinion.
I agree.
Jesus, great finisher, and Mahrez on the wing.
Can I ask why David Silva's retiring? Because he could easily just walk into our side right now. He does not look at a guy that's retiring, does he? I mean, you watch him play and you think, this guy's still got 2-3 years left in the game.
How old is David Silva now? Must be in his I don't think he's retiring.
I think he is.
What is that it?
I don't think he's retiring. I just think he's leaving City. I don't think he's retiring. I think he's just leaving City when his contract expires.
Prince Mohammed bin Salman, get that cash down. Let's get him in.
I don't think Silva's retiring. I think he's just leaving City. But he's just too good to retire, to be honest with me, David Silva. And as for the players they've got in the squad, I mean, Son is gone. No issue. They've got Jesus, Mahrez in the wing, De Bruyne, class.
Do you know what it is? If only we had what they had, you know what I mean? If only Mike Ashley could put that investment into the football club. And the thing is, he doesn't realise, right? You could put a fraction into this football club, right? And you'd make all that back with our fan base. You really would, man. Like, how passionate we are as a fan base to get behind the lads and to buy the merchandise, to buy the food, buy the drinks, etc. Right? And Man City are getting served up like, absolute royalty because of what they've got behind them. Now, I'm sorry to say it, but if you come and invest in a club like Newcastle, you're going to make your money back because we live off football, and like you can see that the difference in quality, like for what their owner does and what Mike Ashley does. Like I can understand why we need the takeover. Obviously, if it happens, it happens. Great. If it doesn't, well, it's the same old story. But there's a difference in class.
That'd be nice. Like, I mean, you look at Man City's midfield. I mean, De Bruyne, best midfield in the world. You've got like Rodri, strong in defence. Gundogan, who can do a bit of both attack and defence. Phil Foden, who for me is a great young rising player.
You know what? He missed a sitter today, but he was brilliant.
I mean, I love Phil Foden. He is going to be crucial for England in the future years. I mean, he is a quality midfielder, absolute quality, Phil Foden. And if we had the chance, I'd love to sign him on loan, but I think he's just too good, and I think Man City will keep him to see. He's one of those rising stars in midfield, and he'll be brilliant for England in the coming years, and even for Man City. I mean, with David Silva leaving, Phil Foden is going to be that replacement, and he's going to be that good. So, I heard rumours they were going to send him out on loan next season. Now, if they're going to do that, I would love to see us try and maybe give him that year's loan, give him that regular game time, because apparently he's not guaranteed a regular spot. Which, fair enough, you've got Jesus, you've got players like that who can make a difference on the day. But in Man City, you'll always buy quality. There's no question about it. But I would love to have someone like Phil Foden. You know what I mean? Even if the takeover happened, I'm not saying it's going to. If it did, it would be a great starting point just to get someone on loan who's going to bang in some goals. Yeah, absolutely. I think we spoke on an earlier stream about bringing Phil Foden in, and he would be a brilliant signing. But I think Man City know how much quality he is. I mean, even now, I think he's like, how old is he? 18, 19, 20?
About 19 or something like that, I think.
And the quality he brings, Man City will just want to keep him, to be honest with you. So
should have scored at the start of the second half. He should score that. But that's just lack of experience at times, isn't it? Like not reading the play. But you know what? You got yourself in a good place at the right time, and you look at our side, it's just...
Now, like I said, we were totally pathetic. We were outplayed, so we can't complain.
No, not really. I'll read some comments and then we'll talk about Watford. So Jonathan Young said Bruce has played the players into the ground since the restart. His squad rotation has been poor. It's finally catching up with him. He's always been the same, even though the Xmas period too. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I think it's always going to be tough for any manager coming in from the for the restart because you're playing games every 3-4 days. And Steve Bruce has to do it. We don't have the side that's capable enough of playing back to back games, and he's had to do it. Unfortunately, like today, you could argue, well, yeah, it's kind of come at the wrong time that we're not playing ASM and Almiron, but he kind of had no choice. I think we've got that safety. I think we haven't got. Yeah. That's the thing with Mike Ashley. He doesn't bring in enough quality for us to sustain a side that can play maybe 4, 5, 6 games in a short space of time.
Yeah, I have to say, Saint-Maximin was a huge miss for us tonight. Armour on as well. And I have to say, Peter, you all right?
Oh, yeah.
You've been a bit quiet. If you
need to head off, Peter, you can head off. We're just talking about the Steve Bruce now. Obviously, the rotation. Do you think he's got it wrong? I mean, I don't want to blame him just on this defeat because I kind of think it was coming. The Man City one.
I don't think it was Steve Bruce's fault, to be honest with you. Nothing is his or the squad's fault. I just think Man City was just too good, to be honest.
That's it. There's one thing I blame Steve Bruce for, right, and it will be the way we're set up and the attitude of the players. But you know what it is? At the end of the day, he put the side out. These players, some of them are fringe, but they've been given a chance to maybe try and get themselves in that starting 11 for regular games. But you look at them and you think, not one of them really suggests to me that they're good enough, even go to the next season.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, nothing was Steve Bruce's fault tonight. Just City were just too good. That's all we have to say. I mean, we all said at the start when we saw the line of back five, we knew that wasn't going to work well. And
I understand what you're saying about Steve Bruce, but what I will say is, yeah, he can't control what happens on the pitch, but what he can control is how he set up a game and how you go about it. Like, even if you're safe, I would have seen a bottom side set up better, play better than that. Even if at Norwich, if they were I know Norwich are crap, don't get us wrong, but even Norwich would have put up a bit more of a fight than what we did in their bottom of the league.
I think they'll be relegated by the weekend as well. Looking at the fixture, or Chelsea on.
Yeah, West Ham.
Hey, West Ham lost today. They'll be fancying their chances. I mean, how did West Ham lose to Burnley? I mean, Burnley, by the way, Burnley are good. And how did they lose? I mean, this is how strange West Ham are as a club. How can you beat Chelsea 3-2? Then they should have probably got the win against us and they got the draw. And then you're at home against Burnley and you fancy yourself and you lose.
Yeah, I mean, I watched both games between West Ham and Chelsea and Newcastle West Ham. The way West Ham played against Chelsea, they were brilliant. The way they played against Newcastle, they were brilliant. And then all of a sudden against Burnley, they're going to lose 1-0 to them. I mean,
that was their big chance to pull really safe and get clear. And they've really blown it today. They've really opened it up to Bournemouth now. If Bournemouth can get an unlikely result against Tottenham at home, which, by the way, Bournemouth have been poor, but they can't do it. I've seen Bournemouth beat some big sides in this Premier League since they've been in it. If they win tomorrow, they got 30 points. I tell you what, West Ham, just after that big result against Chelsea, means absolutely bugger all. Means nothing.
I still don't see Bournemouth.
It is a big ask. It is a big ask, but you never know. And if Villa somehow get a result like with Man United, which is possible, I know it is a long shot, but it is possible. After that West Ham defeat today against Burnley, they really have blown up wide open again. Watford getting that win the other day as well. They're now on 31 points, same as West Ham. They're not helping themselves, West Ham.
Norwich are definitely down. That's one thing we have to say. But as for Bournemouth, I think they will go down as well. To be honest,
yeah, Bournemouth are
done. The only decent player they've got in the squad is Callum Wilson, really. And if he doesn't score the goals, they're done. So, considering we've got to say the way they played against Newcastle as well. I mean, not just Newcastle were brilliant, but Bournemouth were poor. I mean, yeah, they got that goal right at the end, but still, I don't see Bournemouth enough. So I think, well, we already know Newcastle mathematically safe. Norwich, I say, will go down. Bournemouth, I say, will go down. And then I think the final 3 matches will be between Villa, West Ham, and Watford. I think Brighton will very lucky. Still.
We're very lucky it's not us, because if Bruce had to change the formation, that could easily have been us in that relegation battle.
It could well have been, yeah. I mean, if we didn't go from a back 5 to a back 4, then yeah, we went for the back 4. It's worked. We've defended. We've scored goals. We've won matches. So yeah, Newcastle safe. That's all that matters.
Peter, how do you think the relegation zone is going to pan out? Obviously, West Ham lost. I think Wolves lost 1-0. I think it was a late one. I think I could be wrong. I'm sure it didn't finish 0-0. But how do you think? Yeah, so they scored late one. So Sheffield United will probably be getting back into Europe now, I believe. But how do you think the relegation zone is going to pan out? Obviously, we know Norwich are pretty much down now.
Yeah.
With Villa, Watford, West Ham, I would say Brighton are okay. Would you say Brighton are okay? Would you agree with that? Brighton are
I
okay?
think Brighton are fine. It's definitely going to be Norwich, Bournemouth, the third team. I'm still not sure yet.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Last I looked, Brighton were playing Liverpool tonight, and Liverpool were 2-1 up, but I don't know if it's changed at all.
Brighton have got us, right? What'll happen is they'll play us next weekend and they'll be safe. Like we'll go to the Amex and get beat 1-0. They've got 39 points and they'll be safe.
I don't think we've ever won at the Amex while in the Premier League. I mean, we beat them in the Championship late on the season, but
we've done it. We've done everything to try and win a game, but we've also done a lot to try and fuck up in the games against Brighton as well. We did it in the Championship. You remember that one, Diarmi?
I remember that fake Diarmi goal and then Perez later on. Yeah, we watched that game, Pete. I remember.
I don't know what it is. I think West Ham could get safe. I don't know what it. I don't know. Maybe he's just making this up, but I think I've got a good feeling it could be. I was going to say Watford as well, but if Villa can do something, I mean, something. I know we don't like Villa, but something tells me Villa could go on some sort of mad run. I don't know. They're sort of overlooking the other sides at the minute. They're playing after the other sides have played, so they kind of know what they've got to do.
I watched Villa play Liverpool on Sunday, and I have to say Villa were really good. They were unlucky to lose 2-0. They were lucky to lose 2-0, and if they could play like that for the rest of their matches, then they could be safe. But it depends on how they play.
This same guy. Sorry, go on, Dan.
I know Villa have got West Ham the very last game, so
that could be a good one, couldn't it? That could be a relegation cruncher. One stays up and plays for the lottery. The next one is playing Millwall next season, or someone like that.
No.
At least they're not playing Sunderland.
Yeah, enough said about them, the better. But there's a couple of questions actually. So I'll put this one in first. So Kendo says, what team do you think what team do you want to go down? Obviously, I know Bournemouth. I would say I like Eddie Howe. I think they're done. Norwich are pretty much done. I want
Bournemouth to go down because I do rate Eddie Howe as a manager.
Side's not good enough, unfortunately.
I think Eddie Howe is a great manager, and to be honest, even if Bournemouth will go down, he'll stay there because the fans love him. He's a good manager.
He'll get them back. I think he'll get them up.
Yeah, he could definitely bring them straight back up. Absolutely. And I think. I mean, if you could take them all the way from League 2 to the Premier League, he could definitely try to bring them back up, without doubt.
Yeah, I think it's a three-way battle between West Ham, Watford, and Villa. I'd say. I think Brighton have done enough. I think Bournemouth. I think they are going to finish about 19th. They are going to finish in the bottom three. I like Eddie Howe. I think he did play some really good football. He has sort of.
It's just so bad this season.
Yeah, I think the squad have let them down. The players that have obviously moved on as well. How can that even happen? I don't even think that should be allowed to happen. Like, how can players just decide, I don't want to play the last 9 games because it might affect me fitness and stuff going into the next season and me transfer? I think that's wrong. Players should just be able to stay. Like, they have to stay on their contract until the end of the season. Like, how is it Bournemouth's fault that this situation's arisen and that the season had to be stopped? It's not their fault.
I mean, they've done well enough to come to the Premier League anyway. I mean, over the last, even before 2016, they've done well enough to stay up too. So you got to give them credit. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think Bournemouth have got Norwich. Not even worth speaking about them. They're done anyway. Then it's a three-way battle. I would say West Ham, Watford, and Villa. For me, like the three-way battle.
I think Norwich could be relegated by the weekend. By the end of the weekend, I think they can be relegated.
No, they were relegated 3 weeks ago. Then.
Yeah, absolutely. But say mathematically, I think they will be relegated by the weekend.
Why do they beat West Ham? It would just be typical that Watford just give themselves that West Ham give themselves that chance of like, let's just have a couple of relegation games, and then it's like Norwich, they're like giving themselves a fighting chance. Actually, we'll beat West Ham. Is it at Norwich? It is at Norwich, isn't it?
I'm not 100% sure.
Well, they've just played at the London Stadium today, so I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Could well be. Yeah. Could well be.
Kendo says that we could. That courtesy. Norwich fancy a chance there. We could be a relegation fodder without ASM and Dubravka. What would you like to see young lads get a run in rather than better loans? First of all, I do agree on the relegation. We would be relegation follow about them too. And Almiron are so key to our side. And young lads rather than Bentaleb, anybody is better than Bentaleb. Bentaleb is just a liability.
One thing I have to say is against West Ham, Dubravka pulled off some amazing saves. So if it wasn't for his saves, we would have well lost on Sunday if it wasn't for him. I mean, Mikel Antonio, he is a man in form for West Ham, so he could have well won the game for them. So if it wasn't for Dubravka's key saves, yeah, we would have lost on Sunday.
Yeah. And, Barry says that he thinks Eddie Howe, like you said, will bring them back up. He said the championship's difficult. If one of these three clubs go down, it's going to be difficult for them to get up, but they've got a chance.
Well, I think we all know, comparing to a few years ago, Newcastle did struggle compared to 2009-10. We know that the championship is difficult, and I think Bournemouth, they will challenge to come back up next season if they were to go down. I mean, Leeds have challenged for what, 5 years now?
Yeah.
Leeds United. So the way they've challenged the championship,
I reckon they could do all right next season. You know, I think they could redo bits if obviously the investment comes in, which I think they've been promised in the summer, from what I was reading.
I mean, look at Sheffield United this season. Look how well they've done, and you've got to give them credit. So
you know what it is? It's what we lack. It's what we lacked in this game. They have passion, they fight, they play for the manager. The manager has so much faith in that in their lads. It's just we give up. Like, it's just the give up attitude and just defeatist attitude. That's, like I say, I'm not angry about the result. I'm just more disappointed that we could have showed a bit more fight in the lads. Had an opportunity. The ones who don't get games had a chance to really stake a claim and give Bruce a headache. And Bruce hasn't got a headache because he'll look at that formation, he'll look at that side and think, am I hell going with that side against Watford? Because if he does, it'll just be the same outcome. Again, even with Watford, who are battling, it's not like Watford are safe. Watford are battling. If we play like this against Watford, it may not be a 5-0 outcome because, let's be honest, Watford are not on the same level as Man City, but they'll still win. They'll still find a way of winning because you can't play like that. I'm sorry to say, if he goes 5 at the back, I will scream against Watford. If he goes 5 at the back, I will actually scream.
Yeah, I will too. I mean, we know the back five doesn't work, so have
not worked all season.
The way Kraft played against West Ham, that was ideal for us, and then all of a sudden he just switched to our back five. We knew it was going to work tonight. I mean, even when I saw the lineup, I thought to myself, yeah, we're fucked tonight. I mean, I mainly predicted 3-0 on my Super 6, but to go and lose 5-0, it was coming.
Yeah,
it was always coming.
Steve Bruce obviously couldn't win really with the formation. The lineup, I would say, more than the formation. The formation for me was simple. Just try and have a go and go toe-to-toe with them. But I'll ask you lads this question, obviously, before I wrap up. Obviously, Watford on Saturday. How do you think we'll go about it? I mean, we'll start off with you, Dan, and then we'll go on to Peter. I would say, you could say it's a must-win game, but we are safe. But it is a game we'll have to bounce back in, and we'll have to make sure that we're not just letting the season fizzle out.
Absolutely. I mean, Watford are still fighting for survival, so as far as I'm concerned, I think it'll be a draw, to be honest. I mean, we're safe, we know that, and I think we'll just play the game comfortably, and Watford will fight, so yeah, I'll say draw.
Do you think some of our better players will be back? You know, ASM, Almiron, do you think it may be a bit too soon for ASM? I mean, don't know word on him at the minute, but Almiron was obviously on the bench. They're more of a rest. Do you think we just need to just go for like the 4-2-3-1 and not just sit back and expect that Watford are in a relegation battle, we're just going to sit back and deny them? Because I think that it is a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably play Almiron start, and then I'll maybe play Sim-Maximin on the bench just to bring him on within the last half an hour. But yeah, I mean, we've got nothing to play for, so give it. Did you
say 0-0?
I think 1-1 will be the right result for Saturday. Yeah.
It would probably cap off like a disappointing week, but it would be sort of ending that, that first defeat that we've had in about 5 or 6 games. Obviously, it's disappointing. I haven't even mentioned that. You know, that's now our unbeaten run gone. But listen, it was against Manchester City. But Peter,
and
obviously Watford. Sorry, Dan, go on.
I say, and away, so what do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, mate. Obviously, Peter, Watford on Saturday, Vicarage Road, 12:30 kickoff. The lads have to respond, don't they? Obviously, Watford battling to stay in the Premier League. Good result against Norwich, but we mustn't dwell on the result tonight. We must. Steve Bruce has to set up correctly this time, and he must get the lads J'd up and not have the season to think, oh, it's going to fizzle out. How would you go about it anyway?
Exactly. Got to set up correctly. The players have got to look at themselves and think that we need to be far better than that tonight for sure. Because if it's not, Watford will definitely be up for the game on Saturday. But I think we can bounce back from it.
I do. I believe in the lads. I just don't believe in this formation that we've been using. The 5 at the back in certain games where we're not prone to be good with that formation. Do you know what I mean? I think Watford are there for the taking. And the thing is, I watched them the other day against Norwich, and albeit they had a battle to win the game, and on the complexion of it, they deserved to win the game. But I still think they're prone to errors. That's the thing. They make too many mistakes, and if we can, cause them problems, then from the off we could score. We can win the game.
I mean, we've said all season the back 5 formation doesn't work. So let's go to a back 4 and to get a draw. It'd be decent on Saturday, I think. I mean, we knew tonight that the back 5 wasn't going to work. Simple as. And it didn't work against City in the FA Cup. I mean, look how shit we were then.
I mean, if we draw the game against Watford, I mean, it's an away point. I wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, it depends on how we play. But what I'm, like I say, Peter, what I'm looking for, what I want to see in the game is a bit of fight, a bit of passion, shots on target, not one that we've seen for the full 90 minutes. I don't want to see, a potentially bored draw because we've just sat back and we've just let Watford attack and they've just not been good enough to break us down. I want to see a bit more grit and determination. Go on, Dan.
I'd take a point on against Watford. Absolutely. I mean, we're safe now. That's all that matters.
Ideally, I want more, but it would, to try and stop that rot of the 5-0 defeat, because albeit, yes, with the run stopped, but it's the manner of defeat tonight. That's it's the way we've played. That's really annoyed me.
And from this kind of defeat, you need to bounce back as well. I mean, you've seen. Look, when we lost 5-0 to Leicester, we bounced back and we beat Man United at home. So we need to do that this weekend.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Watford will, they'll be up for it. They've obviously just beaten Norwich, and we've come off the back of a defeat. So, without any disrespect to us, I think Watford are clear favourites again, aren't they? Because where you've come off the back of a win, and you're playing against a side that's been crushed 5-0 against City away. It's another away game as well, isn't it? And the players haven't got time to really dwell on the result. It's another game in the space of 3 days. We'll have to dust ourselves down and go again.
You got to say as well, we do have a pretty poor record away to London as well, so it's important that we can get that kind of result and that kind of responsibility as well.
I can't remember what we're like down Watford. I think we're very mixed down at the Vicarage Road.
We've been there for a while, actually.
But we are very mixed, aren't we, against Watford? I mean, we've got 1 win, a loss, a draw. We're better than. See, you know what? I don't want to see the repeat of the home game. Do you remember the 1-1 draw at the start of the season? I don't want to be seeing that. That's not what I want to see. Remember Will Hughes from that goal? I don't want to see any of that. None of that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and we have to show that we've got the quality to stay in. We've stayed in the Premier League. That's the main thing. But to prove that we have the quality for next season as well. That's what we need to show. I mean, we're on 43 points now. Lots of our mates have said, we can go above 50. We have to bounce back from this final defeat tonight. We really, really do. And if we could do that next weekend, even with the results we have, we can do it. It's not impossible.
The thing is, I want to see the Bournemouth performance. I know it won't be as easy because Watford are probably a better side than Bournemouth, but I just want to see a bit more passion. I want to see a bit more fight and determination. I want to see all of that in that game against Watford, not the performance that we're seeing today against City and in parts against West Ham, because it just feels like after the Bournemouth game, they throw the towel in, haven't they? The season's done. Like, that's not the attitude we want. And for against Watford, I want to see what better players playing as well. ASM, Almiron, there's no excuse. Oh, they're tired. No, you've had a full 90 minutes, where you haven't played. You haven't played since West Ham. You've had 6 days, like what would normally be like where you play like Saturday then Sunday. I mean, you've had a bit of a break. You've been given that break against Man City, because I tell you what, I wouldn't want to see that same squad against Watford that was used tonight. Because if we use that squad, even if we go 4-2-3-1, I'll be very worried from the kickoff.
Yeah, I will be too. I mean, from considering that we play against Sheffield United and we play against Bournemouth, we were brilliant against them too. And then just the way, I think the squad knew we were safe against City, and I think they did surrender a bit, but still, they should know better.
Peter, how are you going for scoreline wise? How do you think it's going to happen? I mean, you don't have to say anything because I know you're doing your video. I don't know if people will watch this long, but how would you think?
I'm going to definitely back with a bounce back at Watford for sure. I think they will, hopefully, but none of that attitude from the night. Definitely no way.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. So we've obviously got like 3 more questions, and then we'll give it a wrap if you're okay with that. 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one's from Kendo. It's been on for a while, so thanks for your patience. Who should have been captain today in the match? Who should have captained the team? Because let's be honest with you, for what we've seen from the captain today,
No one was good.
I don't think it really mattered today, to be honest. But
I'll just give it a craft. He seemed like the only one who actually seemed that you give a shit.
Yeah.
considering the way they play against West Ham as well for the weekend.
I think he's been quite good actually since he's come back into the side. Been very rejuvenated, isn't he? I mean, you could say, well, there's no fans there, but not just that. I think he's all-round performance. I think he's learned from the likes of the Norwich defeat and all that. I think that's why I always believe in these players. If you just give them a bit of a rest, bring them back, give him a bit of a run out, they can prove you wrong. And I think he's proved everybody wrong in the last 3 games. His best game was West Ham, I would say, but even Bournemouth, I thought he was really good. Like, you look a bit nervous the first 10 minutes away at the Vitality, but I think he got better, didn't he? And Bournemouth couldn't deal with West Ham. I mean, he got 2 assists. But I would say, well, the first one was an assist. The second one, I would like to think it was an assist because he pretty much set up the second goal, didn't he, for Shelby?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I remember seeing it, yeah. And I think, which was cost West Ham, they looked for the offside flag with Gale, but now he was definitely onside. So that's what.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And we responded after conceding that goal as well, so it was a good response from us. So you can't complain.
Obviously, we know there's been rumours sniffing around. Obviously, this week, Reece Robson said that he reckons Arsenal's been sniffing around for St. Maximin. Well, actually, Arsenal came out today and said that they weren't interested in St. Maximin, but there is a fear that we could lose him if Mike Ashley's still the owner next season. There's no question about it.
It's it's paper talk at the moment. That's what I'll say.
I never will be a paper talk anyway, but you can't deny St. Maximin's quality. Yeah. You know, big clubs will come after him.
I'm not going to lie. I am actually worried because I think if Mike Ashley stays, we'll know what he's like. Yes, fair enough. What we'll pay 16, 17 million for him. You know, if somebody comes in, yes, he's got 5 years left. If a club like Man City or a Liverpool or a PSG or a Bayern Munich want to pay out his contract and pay that money, if we get an offer in the region of 60, 70, 80 million, because I don't think he'll go for anything less than that. If Mike Ashley gets that sort of money and he gets profit, he's gonna let him go, isn't he? It's not about what St. Maximin wants. It's about Mike Ashley at the end of the day. And with this owner,
look what happened with Johan Kabay. I mean, look at the quality he had. I mean, we bought him for 4 million, showed his quality, and we sold him for 20 million. So for St. Maximin, we bought him for 20 million. No doubt, a club will come in with a bid for about 50 million, and Mike Ashley will say,
more than that. I think more. I think Mike Ashley can easily get 60, 70, 80 million more. I think he can get more than that. Anything less than 60 million, I think they've got to steal. And I'll be disappointed.
That's how much quality he's got, really, St. Maximin. I mean, he can dominate in France. He's dominated the Premier League this season. I mean, he tore Bournemouth apart.
He did.
So, I mean, with other clubs in France, even in Spain, Germany, he can do it. That's how quality he is.
I know, fair enough, he does lack a little bit in some places. He's got pace. I know he needs to score more goals. I know his passing ability can let him down at times, but there's no question like his pace and his trickery, his skill, what he offers to a side. The fact he can, do Maradonas, he can do things that all other players can't do. He's got Champions League quality, and we need other players along a lot with that quality to make us into a better side. And you think the longer that we're just going to be battling mid-table, either Mike Ashley will pull the trigger or he'll run away. He'll be speaking to his colleagues, and I would hate to see him go, but you look at what he can offer to our side, to what other players can't. You compare him to like a Matt Ritchie, he's a class above.
If St. Maximin and Amma both leave in the summer, we are so getting relegated next season. That's how much we need them.
Funny you should talk about Almira. I think his father come out and said apparently the rumours of Atletico Madrid were just rumours, but then if there's other clubs talking in the waiting in the wings for Almira to say, right, you can come and play for us, we're going to offer you Europa League or Champions League football, we're going to offer you more money than Newcastle. Listen, he's going to take it though, isn't he? He doesn't want to just battle relegation each season. And mid-table, he's don't get us wrong, I'd like to see him stay at Newcastle and progress, because I feel like this season it's his breakthrough as a Newcastle player. Like that goal against Palace really set him along the way to where he is now, and Steve Bruce obviously changed the formation, so there's a bit more freedom for Almira and St. Maximin to become better players. But I think with with our football club, you never say never with what Mike Ashley can do. It could either be the player wants to leave or Mike Ashley forces them out the door, and that's the way it always has been. That's why I have to be concerned. Like, I don't get excited when I watch them. I don't get excited when they score loads of goals, because for me that just smells trouble that Mike Ashley will sell them. That's what he wants. That's why Mike Ashley he gives them big contracts, so that he can make a lot of money from the club who wants to buy out that contract, and he also makes some money from the sale. So say, for example, we sell St. Maximin for 60 million. He's going to make 60 million profit, well, 40 million profit for whatever he paid for him, for 17 to 20 million. But then he's also going to make money off the contract, which that club has to buy out. So he's winning. Do you know what I mean? He's not. Almiron's the same. Big contracts. Dubravka just signed a big contract. If someone comes in for him, Mike Ashley's all about the profit. This is what really concerns me about this club. We get so far. We progress with players, like we say the best out of St. Maximin, and then there's always paper talk from like a Bayern Munich or a PSG, and we're fearful because they're gonna leave, and that's not me getting all like worked up. It's become a common theme with Mike Ashley. Like we get so far, and then our squad just gets completely ripped apart.
They do, didn't they? They got Mahrez given 10 years ago,
and that's it. Like it's not about the player wanting to go. It might just be about Mike Ashley. He will force them out the door if it means trying to get cheap players in for a lot. Like say for example, we'll sell Alan St. Maximin for 60 million quid. What is our ideal replacement going to cost? 5 million? Exactly. Where's the other 55 million gone? Oh yeah, in his back pocket. That's where that's gone. And that's why
on pies and pints. That's where it's going.
That's what really frustrates me. You look at Man City's side, right? They've got great quality. And we get angry because we're missing two of our key players, like Almiron and Alan St. Maximin, but they've got oozing quality everywhere, even on the bench, and we can't afford that. Like we could be like that if our owner just gave two shits and put a bit more money than he's doing, and doesn't. That's the thing. He rips out the squad too many times, and it's happened all the time before with Alan Pardew. We've seen it. Obviously, unfortunately, Steve McLaren had the honour of working with, like I say, Wijnaldum, and they've become better players, but like. How many players would just let go for the sake of Mike Ashley wanting profit?
The thing,
like Shea Given, James Milner, Andy
Johan
Carroll,
Ben Offer, even though he had a bit of a fall now, but still not the point. One of our better players. Tim Krul was pretty much practically kicked out the door.
Absolutely, yeah.
What happened with like Remy when he was banging in a few goals? What happened with that?
Yeah.
What happened to Tauban? Didn't get a look in. Look how well he's doing now over in France.
He's been dominating in France for Tauban, yeah.
Robbie Stevenson said, I don't know how everyone criticises Joe Linton for not scoring, where Solanke for Bournemouth has scored 1 in 39 appearances, same goals as Tim Howard. But I think in our football club, no disrespect to Bournemouth in any way, but we're a bigger club than Bournemouth. When you play for that number 9 shirt, like Shearer did in the past, and you're banging in, double figures every season, there's a weight on that number 9 shirt. And not just that, if we see Joe Linton putting an effort in, bursting the gut, to maybe have an effort on target or something like that, then yeah, fair enough, understandable. But if you're just non-existent in the game and you're in the midfield zone or if you're in the defensive zone when you should be up front, then that's frustrating. Like he was bought as a number 9. He's technically a winger. He plays better in a 4-3-3. I don't know if you agree with that, but he's not a striker in my opinion. I can't criticise Joe Linton because today he went missing, albeit the formation, but not the point. You've got to do more and try and you've got to try and work hard. You've got to try and burst a gut and try and make something happen out of nothing, and we don't see that from him. Like Dwight Gale, yeah, he scored 2 and 2 before the game today. Again, not good enough. He's too injury prone. Mutu, we don't see enough of. Andy Carroll, yeah, got given a year's contract, understandable, but he's not going to get a regular game at Newcastle United. Where's our strikers? We don't have any strike. That's the thing. We do not have any strikers.
No, we didn't. We've never had any strikers since Pape Cisse left. To be honest, that's the thing. And,
it says a lot when Shelby's our highest goal scorer in the midfield.
I'm surprised he's not a defender, really, because so much defenders have scored.
Exactly. Like Solanke, fair enough. Bournemouth. Do you know what it is? I don't think that there's much expectation for Bournemouth to stay in the Premier League. They've stayed in the league for 5 years. They're a lot smaller club. They're like League One type club. That's where I put them in that category. Punched above their weight. But Newcastle United is a completely different kettle of fish. If you're the number 9 For goodness sake, you've got to score double figures, and you've got to get you've got to have the manager that's going to motivate you to get those goals. And with Joe Linton, you just don't see anything from him. You want him to improve next season, but I simply can't see anything to suggest that Joe Linton's going to change his ways. He just doesn't have that striker mentality.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't. No, I mean, we saw that first miss against Sheffield United in the first half, and the way he took that, you knew that was the moment when you think, nah, that's what I was going. Yeah, I mean. You did get the goal late in the game, but it was just a tap-in, really. So it was nothing special. You know, if you're going to be that kind of striker, you need to produce something special.
Worldies, free kicks, anything, literally anything that's going to get the fans off their seats. Like, try and beat the defence. Just do something. Don't just be, stand in the midfield and, tutting and, waving your arms around because nothing's gone your way. For a start as a striker, you need to try and peel off the last man. That's your job. I'm not quick enough. Well, I mean, whoever brought in Joe Linton, I'm sorry to say it, but they need to be sacked because paying 40 million quid, Hoffenheim must have been laughing to the bank and back, seeing that sort of money coming through. Ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, how much would we have paid for Alan Shearer back in '96 if that was the money today?
Oh, more than 50, more than 15 million. Put it that way, more.
Exactly. So
you could. For me, he is on Ronaldo's level. That's scoring with 80 million plus, even more. He is that. Exactly. He was that good. That good.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So for us to pay 50 million for Shearer back in the day, and then we pay for Jonathan,
it was a club record. Actually, story. it was a Premier League record. I think it was actually a Premier League record. No one ever paid that sort of money.
World record, Sharky. It was a world record back in '96.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a Premier League and a world record. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's a different story with Johnson now and Shearer. Then it's a totally different story.
Do you know what it is? Though I just don't even think we paid £40 million for Joe Linton because if you look at when we saw Perez, I mean, let's be honest, he was like a player who would only played second half of the season. What's that, Peter?
And he's still
yeah. Well, for Joe Linton, you'll probably just say we paid 10 million at war money. Majority of the 30 million from the Perez, and
go on, Dom.
For me, it was a big let go for Perez. Really, I think Perez is much better than Johnson the way he's performed.
10 times better.
Perez has had a great spell at Leicester, providing those kind of goals for like Madison, Vardy, and I think, like I said earlier before with Mike Ashley, he's making the money. I mean, Perez.
The fans aren't benefiting from it. We're getting laughed at just for supporting the side.
And I'm selling Perez, selling Sissoko for 30 million. That's what it is, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like we saw Perez for 30 million quid. Then he's obviously, used some of that 30 million quid. Then we've paid 10 million max, and figures he's not a 40 million pound striker. But then again, that's not his fault. We need to try and get a formation ready for him. I'd play him in a 4-3-3 and get him on that left wing. And by the way, next season, don't even give him the number 9 shirt. Let's review it and give it to somebody else and get a striker in who's going to bang in a few goals. Maybe you know what it is. If we take the number 9 off Joe Linton, right, he might actually perform better because there might be a little bit of pressure off. Yeah. That's. I don't know if you agree with that.
I would give it maybe to Andy Carroll because I know he's had injuries and all that, but he's still a local lad. You want to give those chances to the local lads, and to be honest, the way they look at the squad, you can't really give it to anybody else. So
honestly, at this moment in time, I don't think there's one player in there that I'd give that number 9 shirt to. Not one. Not one. I'll give it a rest. Honestly, next season, it needs to be reviewed. Like that number 9 shirt, I would literally just say, right, Joe Linton, you haven't performed, you haven't done as much as all I was expecting you to, whether it's Bruce or whoever the manager is, or whatever happens with this takeover. I think number 9 shirt needs to be rested until we find a striker that comes into this football club that can get double figures on a consistent year-on-year basis. Even if we buy a striker, that doesn't automatically say that they get the number 9 shirt. I'm sorry to say, you've got to earn that number 9 shirt. Have to earn it. But Joe Linton hasn't done enough.
That's exactly what happened with Johnson. I mean, he came in, record signing, and he got the number 9 shirt straight away, didn't he?
Dwight Gale lost it as well, didn't he? You know what I mean? We're being tossed in the number 9 shirt like it's nothing. They don't realise, Mike Ashley, that this is an iconic shirt, and you've got to be one of the best players at this club in banging goals in order to get it. And for me, it's just been too easy. I mean, Jesus Christ, I could probably get a trial at Newcastle next week, and I think I could get in the same and get the number 9 shirt for next season. That's how easy it's become. That's how pathetic it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But no, like I say, my way for going for Watford, we need to see that 4-2-3-1 formation. I want to see ASM and Almi run back in the side, and I want to see the lads having a go, because if I see anything less than that, then I will be. This time I will be angry. I'm not saying I'm going to let them off for this performance because it wasn't good enough. I'm just frustrated. I'm less angry because it was City, better quality. But if I see anything like that against Watford, I will be angry, because that not good enough. Not good enough. Just because we're safe, don't take your foot off the gas. You're playing for Newcastle United, not Bournemouth. Newcastle.
Will Isaac Hayden be fit for the game against Watford?
I don't think he might be yet. I don't think.
I'm not going to put Betteleb in my side. I'm not putting Betteleb in my side for this next game. No chance. Not a chance. So, I'm really now going to review my lineup for Watford. Really going to review it. It's coming under review.
So what about Shaw Longstaff? Will he be available?
Nah, injured. Injured.
So maybe
Matty's going to have to start for me. He's going to have to start.
Yeah, I would say Matty Longstaff would be the best option, wouldn't it?
I think you'll start me. I'm sorry to say, but you can't. I know Shelby was off, and he's a bit poor, but he's one of our better players in terms of Hollywood balls. But Bentaleb just doesn't offer anything. He's just too lazy. Just makes too many indecisive decisions. That's the thing.
So maybe Matty and Shelby, yeah, that'd be the best option.
There's going to have to be some massive changes going into the game against Watford. I don't think we can use that same team, because if we do, I'm sorry to say, we're not getting anything. You've got to give yourself a chance. We can't. If we set up a 5 at the back against Watford, we should be ashamed of ourselves. We should literally be ashamed. In Watford, I'm sorry to say, if we go to Watford and play 5 at the back, Watford.
Totally not.
Don't. Yeah. But I haven't seen Steve Bruce's press conference after the end of this game. I will watch Match of the Day later on tonight. But I'm going to be very interested at quarter to 11 to see what he has to say for himself after that, because there's no way he could say that any of them played well today. Not one of them. Not one.
I was about to say, no doubt he will be pissed off. That's the one thing I have to say about Steve Bruce. He will be pissed off by tonight.
Bruce will not be paid off. He'll be, we're safe. We're safe.
So
there'll be questions. Don't get me wrong. I will watch Match of the Day. I'll watch it right the way through, and I'll watch the game back. But there's no question it will be a hard watch. I'm not going to lie. Watching that game back, because it'll be like, Jesus, Mahrez. It's just typical Newcastle, isn't it? But no, guys, I really appreciate you having us on the night. But I'm sure we'll be a bit more positive for the game against Watford. Fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll see big changes. And before I let you go, I appreciate Dan coming on as well and having a little rant. I don't think it was really a rant. I think you're more disappointed, are you, than angry? Are you more disappointed than angry? Or are you angry than disappointed? What are you?
A bit of both ways, to be honest. I mean, it was kind of expected that we would get beat heavily, but 5-0. I mean, that's one thing you wouldn't expect. I mean, considering the way we performed in the last few matches. So yeah, I'm more angry than disappointed, to be honest.
What about you, Peter? Are you angry or disappointed?
I'm just
what are you?
at the attitude of the players tonight.
Okay, fair enough. But if you haven't subscribed to PD Product, please do. I will try and leave a link down below in the description if that's possible. But if not, PD Product on YouTube, Newcastle United fan, does a lot of really good content. He does previews, reviews, he does quick thoughts. You do FIFA content as well.
I do videos for Peter as well.
And also, yes, Dan, you do YouTube videos for Peter. You should get your own channel going, man. Get your own channel going. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Maybe next season. Maybe next season. Bit of Dan opinion.
We enjoy good vans, don't we, Peter?
Oh yeah.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is get yourself a YouTube channel next season. Just put your opinions in. Maybe I will. Yeah, no pressure. But no, lads. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. But fingers crossed for Saturday. And as we always say, how are the lads? And we'll go again.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, lads. Thanks for coming to the stream tonight. And I wish you all well. Stay safe. See ya, guys. See ya, man. Take it easy.
Take care, boys. Ciao.
Yes, so thank you very much to everybody who has been part of the live stream tonight. Very disappointing 5-0 defeats away to Manchester City. I mean, what could you expect? But given the way we're set up, the way we're played, again, I'm more disappointed than I am angry. I think Steve Bruce could have maybe went for it a bit more rather than just allow the lads to sit back and just take it up the arse like Man City were the better side, which they are. Maybe we could have showed a bit more fight, but against Watford, we'll have to play better. We've got to play with a 4-2-3-1 formation, not the 5 at the back rubbish that we've been using. against Man City in the past couple of games, because if you do that, then you will be punished. We just don't have the quality to do that. And if we just keep sitting back all the time, then you're going to allow pressure. And hopefully we'll never, ever see that 5 at the back formation ever again, because it's ridiculous. So, yeah, thank you to everybody who was being part of the stream tonight. If you haven't liked the stream, that would be great. Just literally hit the thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds to do it. And there will be a Watford preview out tomorrow at some point, so stay tuned to that. The games do come thick and fast. And talking of Watford, listen, we'll have to play better. With the season, yes, we're safe. But as far as I'm concerned, we've still got 4 games to go to play for points and look to try and pick up as many victories or points as possible, and not just accept that the season's done. Because you've got to remember, a lot of the players are playing for their futures, going forward. But hopefully we'll get the Matty Longstaff situation sorted as well. Hopefully we'll get him on a contract. But if he wants to go, well, listen, it's up to him what he wants to do in his career. But who was your man of the match? I can't really name one. I'll probably say Kraft, if I'm being honest. The rest fail to deceive. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media, TOON Army TV. All links down below in the description. If they're not there in time, if you haven't watched back, then please feel free to look at another video and you'll see the links in there. And yes, thank you so much for watching. As I always say, keep it tuned. Away the lads.